not the best example, but the point being is that they're a fairly clandestine chapter.
Yeah.
And, like, they'll be hard-pressed to do their job if it was always just like, oh, look, a Marine!
Yeah, and there is canonical things that custodies could infiltrate, which is one of the dumbest things ever written.
Well,
But
Alpha
it is
Legion are
canon.
also big on humies.
They are big on humies, yeah. And you notice how I have said that we are infiltrating teams led by Astartes, not just Astartes.
When Alpha Legion infiltrate, they don't wear their... Like, if they're actually infiltrating a group rather than just a place, they don't wear their armor for it.
Yeah, this was my point of we're going to be infiltrating. The 5 infiltrating people, the 10, will not be wearing their armor when they're infiltrating the complex.
Yeah, and they're
they will just be big people.
Yeah.
I mean, they can still carry it in a box or something.
No, you really can't. Like, you need a big fuck-off box for that.
Like, my point is, like, people have luggage, right, you know?
Yeah, it's going to be slightly suspicious.
You're not just going to be wandering around with, like, power armor, like, out in the open is what I mean.
Maybe if you have an auto carriage or something, I could see that. But
by all means, get a moving truck. Like,
right.
Yeah, even, like, an Astartes out of armor is only, like, the usual minimum is 7 foot, I want to say. So, Alpha Legion are taller than usual, but they're still only going to be in, like,
squat marine.
8 to 10 foot bracket, probably. So, you're just dealing with someone who's quite tall, which is also, like, a lot of people who've grown up in space where the gravity's weaker. So it's not...
Yeah, but they're more lanky than, like, hench.
That's
what
very
they
true.
call them? I watched the first few episodes of The Expanse the other day.
Yeah.
What do they call the long people?
Skinnies.
Was it skinnies? Or was there another one?
Skinny, rock hopper,
I might be skinny.
rock chopper,
Apologies.
chucker, sorry. There's a few other that I can't remember.
Okay, so we had some technical difficulties last week. I don't know if anyone wants to hear the reminders again, but I feel like it's probably not super necessary. Did we finish off the trial of Macuiltotec?
No, we decided to shelve it until after compliance.
Exactly, cool. And then otherwise, you've talked internally, and it sounds like you're probably going with military compliance. You're not going to keep trying to de-escalate.
We're going with the second option. We're going to try to get Hyrorians and the Rastics on our side, and then we're going to military action against Merot.
Fair. Okay, so just getting my character set up in the top left. And I believe in the intervening hyper time that I'm not even going to try to track between all the technical failures, Coayah has produced a number of documents, dossiers even, around potential options to do with the planet, which have been fairly well received by the strategic crew aboard the bridge, human and Astartes alike. Something which has perhaps roused the smallest little twinge of reflexive jealousy at the back of your psyche there, Nazeem. What are we doing with the Hoyrans and Rastics mark then? Who's messaging what?
Yeah, not me is all I'm going to say. I will fuck that up.
I'm very happy with
Also, I'm drinking tonight, so, like, no social for me. Or a lot of social. It could, like... Oh.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of social is the Chad play there.
Yeah. Quiz highest fellowship. I'm not great on it. Who else is right at fellowship?
None of us are good at it, if I remember right. I think Ollie likes to roll it when he's around, but I don't know if he's actually got step.
And I did hear a badunk, so that might have been him coming in.
I'm here.
Aha!
I mean, Benji's not the one who rolls it, but he's here. Oh, no, he's here. Yeah, I mean, I can roll it.
I'm here.
He's like,
Do you two want to do the talking then?
I'll tell you what, Ollie. I'll handle the Hoyrantins if you want to handle Rastic's mark.
Yeah, okay.
What the fuck is that?
Is it a fan noise or like people?
That's not
People shouting in the background.
Oh, it's like background.
Who's having a party?
Yeah.
Woo girls.
Tell them to piss off. We didn't put up with their shit for 400 years to hear them carousing now.
Well, that was actually the Norwegians and the Danes.
So the Swedes say. I bet there was more than a few of them.
Well, they were doing the exact same thing, they're just mostly going east.
A likely story.
Do you want me to roll first, or do you want to go first, Benji?
You can go first.
Cool. I'm going to roll. Can we support each other in any way?
Sorry.
Or can I...
Actually, I just realised we were mid me rolling. We were going to ask questions. So I rolled for Augury.
Oh, Christ.
Remember? We
were like, how specific do we make the questions?
Yeah. So we actually have the exact question we want to ask for the Augury.
Okay, you workshop the exact question. Alright,
yeah.
Cool, let's hear it.
Will Hoyrans react better to flattery or fear in the current situation when trying to bring Hoira to compliance?
That is specific.
We told us we had to be specific.
I did. I just wasn't expecting you to listen.
Thank you.
I've been producing dossiers this campaign. We're professionals, damn it.
General you, not you desperately trying to... You specifically desperately trying to dredge...
A royalty.
Yeah.
A royalty.
Yes, that's it, because Coayah was on bridge halfway through diplomatic talks, wasn't he? And I came along like an hour in or something.
Mm. Oh yeah, I did some initial rolls.
Yes.
They're right there.
Yeah. I don't recall what any of them were for, I'm afraid.
I think it was the first roll was one to basically smooth stuff over so they'd actually listen to us, rather than being like, you killed our ambassador.
Nah, that wasn't us.
Like an hour passed or something, and in that time I got my augury off. And I was just coming back to the bridge.
Fair. Sorry if there's background fan noise. I'm trying to temperature manage.
It's hot.
Sorry, I know I got distracted with the fan management in the background, but it's fine. I've just set everything up to max now to hopefully stop this interminable rise in temperature, which is not really stopping. Cool. Could I have your question one more time then, please, John Nicholas? And then I think that was going to act as a modifier for Benji's stuff.
Will Hoyrans react better to flattery or fear in the current situation than trying to bring Hoira to compliance? I think it's an actual answer rather than a bonus. But depending on what we use, it could be a bonus, I guess.
I mean, realistically, the answer would be used for a bonus, I suppose.
I guess so, yeah.
What's your focus point for the Emperor's Tarot again?
I think it's going over data collected, mulling over information I got from the brains in this situation.
Oh yeah,
writing
those
it down,
brains.
yes, I have. Organising it, going through it, that sort of thing. So that's what my focus is for it. It's the organisation of information and writing down notes and just moving it around and stuff. Just see what feels right.
Psychic paperwork.
Takes on an almost reverent quality as you shuffle facts and figures, go over the dossiers presented to you by the dossiers you have from the scouting mission, post-mission reports from the disastrous initial negotiations, and filter in information coming down from the bridge. You feel with distinct certainty, a sense of clarity that the Hoyrans will, in your professional opinion, will, in your professional opinion, respond significantly better to flattery than to threats. Though you would struggle to articulate exactly why.
Start flexing at them over the, just literally flexing, see my abs!
Terrifying.
Okay, cool. I'll inform Coayah then, who's halfway through negotiations.
Yes, I would like to use this information when it's given to me to influence my further, influence the further negotiations.
Okay. In that case, what was the tack you were taking with the Hoyrans?
Basically going with exactly what we were saying before. And I was going to say that we've attempted to bring the Morothans back to the negotiation table. They've called us dogs. They've sent various insults. And regrettably, military action will now be required. I would then like to go on with the flattery part by basically saying, yes, we're very interested in bringing you to the table. You're the kind of people we can deal with, a superior civilization with a strong military. We wouldn't want to risk our record against your troops. No, we'll just destroy those pesky Morothans, eh?
I, for the record, don't think Marotha has called you dogs or, rebuffed.
No, I don't think they have. But,
cool. Just
the Hoyrans hate them anyway, so it's entirely in keeping with what I think the Hoyrans would think they'd done.
Entirely fair. I just wanted to confirm that you were aware you were lying.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's have a look. Yeah.
Basically just saying that if we destroy Marotha, we're quite happy to extend all of the terms that we offered before, and basically 70% of world ownership. Obviously, you'll have to split a little bit with the Rastics because they'll probably get uppity. But otherwise, everything within the original treaty is theirs for taking, including the Morothan Metroplexic itself. Once we take it,
okay.
If they want it, obviously. If they don't want it, then we'll do something else with it.
So, I think this is going to be... I'm kind of torn, because there's certain lies in this, but mostly it's bribes. Which...
you might notice how I've only used the lies they will believe. Or rather, would be very believable for their mortal enemies.
I think that...
Well, not mortal enemies, but people they've had long cultural rivalries with, and thus don't like.
Yeah, I think that's entirely fair. Okay, so we'll say this is more charm with a supporting element of deceive than just pure deceive. Cool, I will take charm over fellowship. You've stacked a fair amount of knowledge and foresight here, including the... Brother Captain coming booming onto the bridge at one point, pronouncing his preferences and concepts and what he has, for lack of a better word, divined from the data.
If he says the word divine, I would like to raise an eyebrow but not push it any further.
I did not say divined, no.
Right, okay, that's fine. It's just one of those ones of, if you did, the eyebrow would go up.
No, the word divine does not.
Just a turn of phrase.
I say it's a turn of phrase, to be sure.
By the God Emperor, I mean by the Emperor.
By the what?
Man Emperor.
Are you worshipping someone?
Emperor kind. Okay, I will take... I think it's going to be a charm at a +20.
Okay, thank you.
As you attempt to convince them to betray their entire planet.
A third of it.
That is 5 degrees of success.
Jesus Christ. 5 degrees.
Do you know what?
Success.
Fuck the Morothans and also money.
Now, we actually are the negotiating diplomatic corps.
Yeah, so it turns out the Hoyran delegate was fairly typical of his people, and when you offer more or less identical terms initially to the rest of Horantis, followed by a slew of insults directed at their traditional rivals, followed by a series of key rhymes, a series of key bribes, you are rapidly escalated all the way up to the Hoyran prince himself, who agrees enthusiastically to basically all of your terms and offers you the use of his air force.
Oh, damn.
As well as his troops in securing the rest of the planet.
I would say to this as well, just to get clarification. Obviously, I got a lot of successes, but that might not necessarily mean things in narrative terms. So, obviously, as I said before, we were prepared to offer them the Metroplex if they wanted it. Did they take that offer?
Yes, they'll, like everything you offer, they've 100% enthusiastically taken, and with a distinct attitude of, and that's sorted, that's been done, that's on the table, we've got it, it's ours, you promise.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to know if they'd said, oh, we don't need it, or anything like that. It's like, okay, cool, we'll just turn it into a PDF fortress then, or something, for your own defense. Because we're good people.
They have greedily dibbed everything you possibly offered. So basically everything that isn't in Rastic Desig, as I understand it, was on the table.
I mean, to be fair, do we even need to talk to the Rastics at this point if we're empowering the Horothans that much?
I think it's wise to.
Yeah, let's talk. Okay, Ollie, you're up.
Cool. I should sort of like.
You've been left with exactly nothing to offer the Rastics. Oh, that's not strictly speaking true. There's technically littling Osset. You could offer them minor autonomy within the area that they've currently got, and that's about it.
I mean, I can always promise them the same thing.
Yes, do it.
To be fair, because our offer for the Rastics was always, well, we'll curb stomp Marotha for you. You hate Marotha, right?
Yeah. I'll make sure they get Rastic's mark and, little Ossets. Even though Rastic's mark is theirs, I'm still going to let them have it. I feel like, you need to bring something to the table. But I don't know. Law question.
Shoot.
Our Primarch, he lives in a mostly, water world right now, right?
Yeah, you don't found it yet, but yeah.
Okay, it doesn't happen to be his world, is it? I mean, meta knowledge.
We established that his world has no humans on it.
No humans. Yeah, couldn't. Cool. Man, we're just attracted to water planets. It's great. Real good at swimming. Cool. Okay, yeah, I will take, I'll do the roll, I suppose. Do I get any bonuses for this?
No, I mean, Benji climbed his way up with everyone else supporting him, and he offered them everything they might conceivably want. But Benji climbed his way up from a fairly hefty malus to a +20.
Is this happening at the same time I'm doing mine?
Somewhat coterminous, yeah.
Okay, well, if I can give him any assistance, I will.
I would say you're thoroughly occupied with your own negotiations.
Am I able to assist?
You were doing the Emperor's Tarot and then came in to assist.
That's a good point.
Assist Coayah, so I would also say no. If
someone give him an assist.
Someone help out the man.
I mean,
no, I don't think I'll get one.
Let's hear what is your actual pitch here, Ollie, other than we will give you one tiny town if you betray your entire world, and then immediately replace your current master with one who's the same but more foreign.
Have you ever felt like you're oppressed? Have you ever felt like you just need some more space to really spread your wings? Well,
the Adeptus Astartes say, fuck that guy in particular. Join the Imperium.
Let Ollie do his weird adverts.
So my actual pitch is going to be like, throwing off the shackles of servitude that have kept you pinned down so long, we will let you see your full potential when this place becomes a bustling, incredibly important trade route, and stop along the way of our great crusade. You can be sure that Rastic will be known for its, whatever you so wish. Your cities shall become great hives, and you shall gain great political power, both in both as merchants and, militaristic power as well.
I will remind you that blather is an advanced skill, Ollie.
Not to interrupt. The Rastics have a proud military history, right? Going back a long time. They were once, very dominant on this planet.
They're the former superpower, yes.
Maybe offer them. Obviously, Hoyrantis wants a lot of ruling stuff and that. Maybe offer the Rastics that they can become how best to put it, an intake for the Adeptus Astartes.
Yeah.
We always need more Astartes, and they are the premier warriors of this planet. We recognise that.
That's a good shout.
You can also tie in that with that naturally comes training and weapons access, which, if they want, because we're not going to get involved in internal politics, means that they could fuck over the Hoyrans. We're not going to stop them with the weapons that we supply them and the training.
Yeah, that's a good shout. That's both of those are good shouts. So I suppose in addition to sort of, setting the shackles free, I'd rather offer them, they could be a potential intake for the Astartes, for the great warriors that we are. You'll get access to weapons, you'll get access to training, to wonders you have never seen. And if the Astartes isn't quite your thing, potential intake for the what are we called right now? The Imperial Army.
Imperial Army.
Yeah.
We always need new warriors to take
Yeah,
the
we
word of
always
the
need new
Emperor
warriors.
onwards into the stars, and you are the greatest warriors of this world.
Yeah, what Benji said.
Okay. I'm a bit torn. So a lot of that was arguably blather. You were talking up how great they would be if they just were conquered, but also a lot of that was arguably lies, which would be deceived. But then there were a few genuine bribes, at least from a certain angle, the Astartes thing, though I don't know quite how alluring that is when you look at it from their point of view. And the other thing would be the offering that they be the, like... it sounded like you were saying, yeah, we'll make you the designated Imperial Army stop.
I have an idea, actually. Is there any chance I can invite one of them up? Or like a small designation up to the ship to meet the Astartes in person?
Ain't no one going to follow
No.
Not after last time.
No, okay, fair enough. Alright,
They had to scrape they wouldn't even have to scrape the liquid soup that used to be the people who attended the last meeting up. Because they would have sublimated. Yeah, they would have sublimated. Like, you evaporated the last group of people sent to speak to you.
What lies do we tell them?
What, there? I think you should be able to spot the lies for yourself. How much do you intend to think about this world after you've conquered it?
Maybe very occasionally.
Maybe very occasionally.
We're planning on putting someone here to recruit stuff anyway.
It is not it's not technically a lie, maybe it'll happen. Like, it's 100% a lie to promise them the moon.
Is that the we, the royal we, or we as the Imperium we? Because the Imperium will probably think about it quite a bit. They won't get involved in local politics, but they probably will think about it.
The Imperium is not going to honour any random promises you make in negotiations that don't get passed on. And also, why would the rest of the Imperium honour this promise?
You know what, though? The Astartes argument probably has the most water there, then, right? Because we only have to pass it up the chain of command to,
If we call dibs, they can't say shit, yeah.
I mean, the thing I will say on the Astartes argument is, if you join us, we'll kidnap your children forever, is not a great pitch.
Yeah, but we don't have to do the kidnap your children forever thing, right? Like, not in the way that, we come down for a battle every 4 years and we take only the 7-year-olds who killed the most cats. We're like the ones who are there, maybe set up like a proper tournament out of it, or something like that.
Remember, these people's only experience of Astartes is they turned up 2 weeks ago, and then yesterday in this system, and then yesterday they incinerated. In fact, today they incinerated a shit ton of people, so they do not have a good view of you.
What I was going to say was, I wanted to send down, transmit to them. Maybe start with the proud warrior history of the stuff and get some equal or understanding.
That is 100% going to look like propaganda, which it to an extent will be.
It is.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from, and if this were 40k, this would, arguably potentially work. People would understand the context there. These people don't necessarily even understand what a Space Marine is. You're some tall guy wearing ornate power armor, which is cool and sci-fi, but also, join us and we'll recruit from you forever. You're hinging a lot on them being so fanatically keen on a warrior society that they would betray their planet's independence just in order to occasionally tithe children.
To get their own independence.
Not to interrupt, here's the thing I would say with this offer. Make it non-time dependent. Say, this offer is open until this planet enters the Imperium. So we're not asking you to give an immediate response, just know the offer's open. Then, if we land and we perform our invasion plan, and word gets to Rastic's mark that, holy shit, these guys took down Marotha in 2 days, maybe we should get on board with this. The offer's there, and we don't have to go curb stop them.
Yeah. Cool. So this plan I totally thought up by myself without any help from anyone else.
It's out of character, it's fine.
Yeah. So I will do that then. Sort of semi-time box it. Sort of say, we can use you as a recruitment ground. Could be some glory in there for you. Access to weaponry, all that good shit. Give them their independence.
Again, not to interrupt. We'll use you as a recruitment ground. You are the mightiest warriors of this planet.
Yeah.
We are the mightiest warriors of the Imperium. only the greatest may join our ranks, and you are the greatest of this world.
I mean, for the record, I know it's been a couple of weeks. Sorry. Yeah, but they're kind of not. Their ancestors were superpower.
We know they're not, but have you been out in Britain recently with all this? The British Empire's like, that was hundreds of years ago, and it was arguably not.
I mean, it wasn't hundreds of years ago. It expanded in the 60s. But also, no, I haven't been out in Britain recently.
But
you've seen.
Yes, no, but you've seen the general sort of resurgence of goddamned hell, fucking Italy in the 40s, harkening back to the goddamn Roman Empire.
Yeah, people do.
Exactly. It's not unheard of that people go, yes, our ancestors were great, therefore we are great.
Oh, okay, I see where you're coming from.
What shall I roll?
I will take... It sounds like on balance of things, then, you're probably doing a charm. But it's going to be... I think it's going to be a charm at I will call it a -25.
-25.
You've climbed your way up from a -40.
How much fellowship have you got?
I've got 40.
Try not to get a 1.
Get a 1.
Go on. Don't get a 1.
Get a 1. Get a 1.
Is that a success? Holy fuck.
He's 50.
That is a DOS.
This world shall be brought to compliance in the traditional manner of our legion through the power of our argument.
Well, that's...
and occasionally big guns.
Looks like the story overlords want us to, win this planet over.
That's me, you son of a... So... Your negotiations with Rastic's Mark, despite the fact that you've been basically given nothing to offer them, go reasonably well. Did you actually offer them Littling Osset? I don't know if it actually figured into your final...
I think I did, yeah, I did. Okay. It was one of the first things I said, so I got lost.
So you offer them an element of dominion over Rastic Desig, which is basically the former heartlands of their once great empire. This would include dominion over Littling Osset, the settlement in the southeast established to basically completely neuter their naval trade, and over the assorted mines and promethium refineries that dot the landscape, basically allowing them to have some semblance of power again. You also float the idea of making them the basis for a... Do we have PDF at this point? I don't know if PDF are pretty...
Yeah, you do have PDF at this point. It's just starting up.
Okay, you also
but they do
offer them an exciting new thing where they get to be the site of the PDF fortress for the world, and the Imperium will help arm them. And there's a lot of subtle veiled, and we don't really care what you do as long as the tide's paid. If you wanted to hit civil war, I guess. And it all goes over remarkably well. You get the impression throughout these negotiations that the people in Rastic's Mark are beaten down. They have been reduced to functionally a pet of their former subjects, and the descendants of their once mighty ancestors are long since fed up with it. They're revenkissed as all fuck, and they're pissed. When you offer them a chance for mildly improved circumstances, the possibility to maybe reclaim their empire in future, and the ability to watch Marotha go down, they offer their full and tacit support. Now, military-wise, that's basically nothing. There's not really anything they can do for you. They have been more or less neutered by the Marothans and the Hoyrans between them. But it does secure your flank somewhat. And it means you have one fanatically happy group of people on the world on your side. I know you got 5 degrees of success with the Hoyrans, but the 5 DOS with the Hoyrans is the Hoyrans being we can have everything we want, we can have our cake, and also the Marothans' cake, and bits of what should probably be the Rastic's cake, and we can eat all of this shit? Yes. Then being super in it for themselves, whereas Rastic's Mark and its citizenry, or at least its political leadership, are incredibly happy at the thought of being able to revolt successfully.
Watch Marotha die.
It seems like the max amount of diplomacy we can have is a 2 out of 3.
You haven't actually talked to Marotha yet. You haven't called them.
We
also
haven't,
don't have
but
to.
equally, we have just offered the other two. If we kill Marotha, y'all cool with that?
Yeah, the closing thing I will say before you'll go into your next bit is that the negotiations with Razdik Smart go well enough that things are basically escalate immediately out of control. Your sensors and long-range vox casters in orbit above the planet detects a massive surge of violence and propaganda booming out over Rastic's Mark. The Marothan garrison is trying to withdraw, and the Rastics are rising in revolt against them. This also is...
Drop me there, Captain. Put me in the Dreadclaw, I shall help our new friend.
This is also posing some element of problem to the Navy docked at Rastic's Mark. It's not the biggest, but it is Marothan. Sorry, carry on.
I'm just loving the idea that if we actually did end up things going really well diplomatically with the Marothans again, just that one space marine on board the ship aimed his bolter again, headshot the guy down on the planet. I thought he was pulling a gun.
So, Chief Apothecary, how good are you at reattaching skin that has been completely removed in one session? I wish to do it twice.
I can aid this, brother.
Pulls sheet of ancient Archaeotech Velcro with this.
Excellent. Yes, I don't think King Michalco is getting anywhere out of it.
Velcro skin is such an unsettling concept. Michalco is locked up in the bridge.
The pain is taking
Bridge? In the bridge.
Sorry, in the brig, yeah, which means he's down.
Not on the bridge.
You're down a marine, and I think you said you'd assigned 2 marines to guard him as well, so you're technically down 3 marines for the record. I usually wouldn't comment.
Specifically ones not from the...
Yes, you said specifically not the ones from the remedial squad.
Yeah.
Remedial squad currently has 4 people in it, I want to say.
Yeah. Well, we won't be using remedials. Well, are we okay to do the plan I have outlined?
Yes.
Although we should probably check that the mechanic...
Air support.
I will note that the plan you outlined doesn't take into account the fact that you technically would have friendly landing zones in Hoyrantis. So, that's what you want to do.
This is more of a demonstration invasion than a link-up invasion.
It's not a practice invasion before we hit the big boy planet.
Not really. It's more of a we've made allies on this world, and they've offered their full and enthusiastic support. But the whole point of this landing is to subtly impress upon them. Yes, we're your friends. We want only the best for you in our Federation. But don't even think about trying to pull out or betray us in any way, because if you do, points to Titan blowing up one of their forts.
These guys need a weak. We want these guys to make sure they have a weak pull-out game. Because we want more warriors, and also we don't want them to betray us. So that's what I'm hearing here.
Possibly the worst way to phrase it, but sure.
It's just, yeah.
So just a small note then. Could you take me through take me through your steps one by one? Because I'm afraid I'm not just going to work off the dossier.
Okay, right. Well, as you can see from the attached dossier with pictures
that everyone read.
Yes.
Right. So. We will land a small.
Just a speedy pause. Sorry, no, it's a really shitty thing. You don't need to apologize at all. This is me interrupting you. But I would like it noted that Benji's Gillimaning this. He's preparing all these lengthy documents that he insists people read. Everyone else is just rolling their eyes and eventually going along with it. Big Codex Astartes feels. Sorry, please carry on.
God, it's the fucking Lehman Russ meme, isn't it? It's just show me where it says that you can't have more than 1,000. Marines a chapter links Codex Astartes. I'm not reading that shit.
Oh dear. Sorry, God. Yes. Take us through your battle plan,
right.
Brother Captain. Oh, I'm sorry, not Brother Captain. Brother Lieutenant.
Yes, Brother Lieutenant Coayah, not Captain. Excellent. So, the aim is to land troops of the Imperial Army led by a small contingent of Astartes southeast of Zaragoth port to secure the area and begin ferrying larger forces, chiefly Titan maniples, to the planet's surface. After this inevitably provokes a response from the Zaragoth military force, drawing them towards the fortifications we will be throwing up, a Stormbird assault will begin on the western side of Zaragoth itself.
Singular
Flying
fire.
low and... I mean, we've got plenty of Stormbirds. You can take the Firebird if you want, but given the rest of the plan, I was going to suggest we don't use it.
Yeah, I think the Firebird is the command crew's vehicle. I don't think you'd be using that by default. Unless you specify otherwise, I won't assume that you are.
Yes, equally. As the Stormbird assault arrives from the west, the south of the city will be punctured by Dreadclaw deployment full of Marines, geared for close-range assault. Now, the aim of the Marines is not to destroy all populations within the city. It will be to try and eliminate local military leadership, gain access to command codes and access to their Vox network, as well as drive the civilian population towards the north. We need as much of the civilian population intact for this plan to work as we can get. With the civilian population moved to the north, we will then utilize our hidden reserves. From the cream of our attached army corps, we shall form a series of infiltration kill teams headed up by Astartes. These teams will infiltrate the refugee column to the north of the fort of Zaragot, where it curves to avoid a series of hills. These teams shall also be shadowed by further infiltration kill teams, who will endeavour to keep the mass of humanity moving together as one by picking off any stragglers and or people trying to move away from the main column. That's the word. These kill teams will also be backups in case any of our Astartes are discovered. Now, as the column moves past Fort St. Stanis, we shall deploy the full might of our Titan manifolds against it, destroying it in a spectacular fashion, forcing the Morothan military leadership to panic, and the refugee mass to gain a much easier entry into the city behind the Void Shields.
A minor note that you only actually have one Titan manifold, but it does have supporting Skitarii Tagmata.
How many Titans? Oh, sorry, yeah, I thought for my brain has always gone, oh yes, a manifold is just a Titan, and that multiple of them means multiple Titans. Sorry, how many Titans do we have in total, by the way?
5 Warhounds.
That's enough to blow up one little fort.
It's actually a colossal sprawling fort. It's also not a fort that was built to withstand Titans. It's only marginally staffed, but it is of great symbolic importance.
To be fair, we don't need the destruction to be particularly even effective. We just need it to make a lot of flash and a lot of bang.
Do we use orbital bombardment for that? Do we need to use Titans?
We don't need to use Titans, but it will help the overall plan, because we want the Morothans to panic when they see Fort St. Stanis get completely wiped out by a series of Warhounds.
I mean, seeing it obliterated via orbital bombardment will probably do that.
Yes, but I don't want to miss.
The Air Force, the Air Force that you have access to, and indeed troops that you have access to, based out of Hoirantis, they can't just redeploy all the way over to the Spur. That would immediately expose their island to getting attacked by Port Voront. They'll help you in the eastern bit of the continent, but until the Morothans surrender and you've delivered the world, they basically need Port Voront on side and arguably the Defiance Aeroplex before they can do anything to really help.
This plan aims to not need the military intervention of Hoirantis or Rassik's Mark. It aims for a quick decapitation strike to cut the head from the snake of the Morothans and force a quick compliance. If I may continue. Yes, with the destruction of Fort St. Stanis causing major panic amongst the Morothans, our infiltration kill team shall gain access to the city. While this is going on, the Dreadclaw deployed Marines that have thoroughly achieved their objectives, hopefully, in Zaragot, will return to orbit and begin preparations for orbital strike deep into the heart of the Morothan Metroplex. Once the Void Shields are down, we shall deliver our Marines and begin dropping army troopers directly into the city. We shall capture the leadership and or eliminate them, force a general surrender, and the world shall be ours. Any questions?
A few. About the Titans and Fort St. Stanis. Stanis, thank you. I'm not sure. I understand don't want to miss and so forth, but how big is this fort? How hard is it to hit with an orbital bombardment?
Fort St. Stanis is arguably probably a building which you mostly can't hit a single building with orbital bombardment, but you also mostly don't need to. Fort St. Stanis is a giant castle complex recessed into the foothills and lower slopes of the Gralloch range. It's actually only lightly manned at the moment, but it's It's the fort that used to be the royal palace of the king that ruled over the Spur, and so like the predecessor city-states to Marotha back in Old Night.
I will say as well, I'm fairly sure oh, sorry, you.
Oh no, just like. So it's not a difficult. You actually could hit it with orbital bombardment, and you wouldn't actually blow all of it up at the same time. But also, it wouldn't be that difficult to do so anyway. You just track the guns a little bit. Nothing's that big, or a few things are. So in terms of attacking it, it's actually they're probably scrambling to man it now because it actually is quite a good defensive position. But it doesn't have an innate shit ton of defenses. You can see that from orbit, or at least not active ones. It would take them like half a day, a couple of days to actually get the whole thing online and manned. But even then, as far as you know, it doesn't have void shields either. But it is definitely a massively important symbol, and blowing it up is going to be a big message.
Okay. Getting the Titans down there on the mass conveyor. Obviously, the mass conveyor is vulnerable if it's deployed, is that correct?
Yes, sorry, so they don't actually... this was my bad, I explained this poorly like a couple of weeks ago. You don't deploy the mass conveyor, or you can land the mass conveyor, that would be a time. I suppose it's void shield protected. You have like heavy aerospace landers on the mass conveyor that you load the Titans into, and then they get flown down. But yes, they're incredibly vulnerable. The time that it is easiest to kill a Titan is to blow it out of orbit when it's in transit.
But I'm not sure they have the weaponry to do that without exposing themselves to bombardment.
They have strong anti-air.
Have anti-air in places.
How's the long-range anti-air? Do we know?
You don't really use long-range anti-air, generally. You usually use fighter craft for that, and their actual aircraft are pretty damn good. Marotha is primarily a naval power, and as a result has a very reasonably developed and advanced air force. It's not the type of thing that necessarily poses massive threats to, say, Stormbirds, but Stormbirds are also Archaeotech as all hell.
Well,
we also
to
now
be fair,
have 2 essentially friendly airports out of the 4 on planet. So we have less to worry about. We might have had to.
Yes, you could actually land at either of those relatively safely, but per Coayah's initial plan, his goal is to conquer the world without needing the allies that you've secured as a show of force.
I will say as well, the reason I chose to use the Titan was mostly so I could have Cread use the Titans.
Yeah, I'm with
It was mostly, we've got Titans, I wanted to let people use the Titans in my plan.
Yeah, I wanted to see
I'll use the Titan. Yeah. It's not necessarily that they're the most efficient thing. Orbital bombardment would be the most efficient thing, but hey, people like Titans.
Let's go run another Titan up another Imperial Star Destroyer.
I mean, one thing that Warhounds do offer that you don't get out of Imperial Bombardment is they're precise and they're fast. A Warhound gives you 5 Warhounds gives you approximately the same destructive power as a smallish escort ship, like a tiny-ish destroyer, but you can also, instead of making vague hits from orbit and hoping you get within the right area, you can make precision hits. You can feasibly snipe with a Warhound. You can't very easily do that with thingies.
Orbital bombardment. I will say, yes, as well, there is also the measure of the Marothans know they have void shielding on their main complex, so they may not fear.
What happens? Oh, sorry, you go, Cread.
Okay.
Just say, how much could they plink a orbital ship of ours? Would they be able to do nothing through the void shield, or would it be a risk?
Depends. You don't really know what their anti-void what their anti-void defenses are like. They might conceivably have nothing. They might have something hidden and waiting in the wings, and it's not the type of thing you got from your scouting report, and it's not easily detectable from orbit. So basically, the only way to discover that is to either perform a fair amount of advanced espionage, which you don't have time for, or to risk lowering yourself into low orbit and hope.
So my suspicion is we don't need to do espionage because the Hoyrans probably have already done it for us.
Yeah. Is there any information that Hoyra can...
Yeah,
there are all the Rastics, because you don't know what sort of... what they've been up to.
But the reason I asked is to float the idea of taking Defiance Aeroplex just by landing a fucking void ship there.
Yeah, I like this idea.
Then we'd have a fort And they'd have one less airport.
And we can just, if the void shields can be extended outwards, we've got, I don't know if they can be, but if you get a big enough ship down there, I suppose it doesn't matter.
Let me just speedily check what the rules are for landing a ship in Rogue Trader.
Not easy.
I imagine.
We
don't have to use the Titans if we don't.
Do we know if Fort Stannis has void shields protecting it?
Fort St. Stannis explicitly does not have void shields protecting it.
Explicitly does not, okay.
I'm fine if Cread really wants to use a Titan. I'm more than happy to.
I really want to use a Titan.
Okay, I'm more than happy to deploy 2 Titans. Just don't think we need all 5.
It was mostly for intimidation factor.
Yeah,
I think 2 Titans is intimidating enough.
I would say 3. 3.
3?
Yeah, I think because 2 feels like, easier, even if you're a Titan, you're easier to get flanked if there's 2 of you, right? If there's 3 of you, you'd have to...
As well, sorry.
No, that's right.
Can as well we get the rundown on our attached army corps from which we will be drawing troops for part of this invasion.
Yeah, we have...
I have some of those somewhere.
Yeah, I think you've already had them there. That you should have them.
We have army group Alpha,
I just don't have them.
Beta, Gamma, Delta, and Epsilon. Alpha is... there you go.
Thank you.
With 30,000... We had 30,000 Titans, eh? God, could you imagine?
I actually didn't get numbers.
Eventually there's Voltron into one bigger Titan. I think we probably need a Delta guys, because they're close combat urban siege. And then maybe some fodder as well.
Well, we don't need siege specialists, we need infiltration specialists. So Gamma with the veterans, probably the best choice.
Yeah, I agree.
The Delta close combat urban siege, I believe, should be sent down in the initial party to establish the base south of Zaragoth to provoke a military response to draw them out of position.
We'll just say that landing a void ship, so your crew would be making the roll for you, and it'd be navigate void, operate void at, I think technically a -20, I'm pretty sure, so it's like 20 or under to do it successfully. It's tricky.
Probably not worth.
No.
You see, if you send down enough void ships, eventually the wreckage will be a cushion for the one that does succeed.
Technically, yes, but you'd have to go through a lot of void ships, or have a very small world.
And enough, we can make a space elevator.
Look at all these ships we throw away. It doesn't matter to us. You're worthless.
That's it. Cool, so in that case, we've had a fair amount of planning here. Can I get confirmation from the captain, please? What is the first move you're ordering?
Drinks.
You've got 30 seconds, you're Nicholas.
30 seconds. It'll be the strike on Zaragoth. So the deployment of not the Firebirds, the other ones.
The Delta Squad.
Stormbirds, I think your Nicholas has said.
The Stormbirds, yeah.
So you want to send your Stormbirds in to start bombing Zaragoth.
But that's not the first part of the plan.
Is it not?
Read the plan!
He is the captain.
I thought it was. No, I won't go by plan. That plan was good.
Stage 1 was land troops of Imperial Army and a small contingent of Astartes report, and then go for thingies.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
Land troops of the Imperial Army lead by a small contingent of Astartes southeast of Zaragoth port to secure the area. Begin.
Okay, and that is your 30 seconds up, which means, per the agreement we had, as you're still going over the details, Coayah leaps into action. Coayah, what is step 1?
Right, in which case I would like to, after confirming with the captain that he wants to follow the plan, that we will, I will contact the is Delta part? It's not Delta Squad, it's not a squad.
Delta Close Combat Urban Siege Warfare Peeps. Those called Delta.
Delta designation.
Maneuver Army Group Delta.
Yes, I will tap Army Group Delta to place themselves under the command of the captain, as outlined in the plan, and to begin deployment to the world under the strictures of the agreed plan. Because I'm not going to read it out again.
It's fine. I'm sure everyone was listening. Cool. I've marked Army Group D, Delta, just slightly southeast of Zaragoza. Is that about where you wanted them? You should be able to move them, I think.
Yeah, they are to land there and begin construction of fortifications to begin getting a safe foothold.
You know what, actually, sorry, let me just speedily set all of these to be controlled by everyone. I thought I'd already done that, but apparently I haven't.
To confirm, that was Delta Squad plus 10 Astartes, or will they come in later?
That was Delta Squad, yes, they should be deployed with their attached Astartes.
Delta Squad? Walker, what are you doing here?
Now, I also said that Captain Nazeem would be part of this initial group to take command of the first operations upon the world, but if he doesn't want to, then he doesn't have to.
Yeah,
Sounds like he's trying to get you off the bridge, Nazeem.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't like the idea of just leaving him alone on the bridge. So I'm gonna stick up on the Obsidian Heart for now.
He never does go along with your plans, Coayah.
In which case,
this cowardice.
Brother Captain, may I request the honour of leading the first troops to begin fortifications?
You wish?
Excellent. Basically, in that case, me and young Nicholas will swap places. I will go down and command on the ground, and he will stay on the Obsidian Heart.
He is the Assault Marine.
On the nose with that phrasing of me and young Nicholas will swap places. I hear the glee in your voice.
It actually isn't glee, it's slightly resigned annoyance, in that I'm the one with command, therefore I should be the one staying on the ship so I can give commands to the various factions for ease. Whilst you lead the troops in the field, the way the Space Marine commander does.
Yeah, so that's
Also, I would point out, young Nicholas, that means I'm going to be the first to make planetfall and thus get a bragging right of the glory. I was sacrificing my own glory share in this campaign, you shit.
A little thought crosses the back of your mind as you see Coayah's wrinkled facial expression just as he marches out. I'm assuming that he's maybe thinking some of this, but didn't voice any of that. But it sure would be a shame if something happened to his lander as he went down to the planet.
Oh, the idea of just Coayah walking out going like, yeah, shit, and then just the door shuts behind him.
I have to make sure the Admech's on side as well, because he hasn't actually said anything since we got back.
This is where we don't get the Titans.
Yeah, I just sort him out.
Where are my Havoc squad going to be most useful?
Okay, let's have a speedy command check, I think, just first off from Coayah to see how things go with your deployment. I would take either command or Primer Imperialis.
I will take command. Yeah.
Cool. This is a fairly routine landing under fire. I'll give you a plus 10. So command over intelligence or fellowship, whichever is higher, the plus 10.
They are literally the same. And I have tick, so that is plus 10. Plus I have a talent that gives me a plus 10, so that is plus 30. I'm going to re-roll that.
Get 100, get 100.
That's a pass. It's going for 75, so that is 2 degrees.
2 degrees of success. You have a fair number of, what was it? It was Army Group Delta, wasn't it? Which was the Solent Salieteers, regiments of close combat, urban warfare, and siege specialists. They are used to the idea of deploying under fire, as are your Marines. You're going down with a squad, right? So that's 10 guys.
Yes.
You say it was an assault squad as well?
It's mostly to... Basically, the whole point is to act as a leadership role within the Bastion.
Yeah, so
basically, I'm deploying Marines to show the enemy that we care enough about this landing zone to deploy Marines and possibly provoke a response from their military.
You take down a mixed squad of 9 Marines who you consider to be closest to you in temperament and skill set, i.e. natural commanders, the type of people who will take charge of large groups. Well,
we are going to fortify this position.
the deployment to the surface is, from your point of view, about as smooth as it can be. You, in your Stormbird, along with the rest of your Marines, are basically entirely protected. But you can hear over the Vox as the Solian Salutaires start to get shot out of the sky. Nevertheless, this was expected. And your extremely speedy deployment, I think technically this is like... Okay, let's assume you had to take a little bit... No, you would have been on high alert when you approached, so you didn't have to spend any time gearing up. And you took a couple of hours for negotiation. So it's been like maybe 4 to 5 hours, accounting for those of you who needed medical treatment for being so close to that fucking Inferno cannon. So it's been, we'll say, 5 hours since the incident at the Defiance Aeroplex, whereafter you evacuated. So, on as high alert as they can be, the Morothans were not prepared for a sudden landing immediately southeast of Zaragoza.
Could the Stormbirds have gone first and used their protective...
No.
Well,
Void shields aren't that big a bubble, I'm afraid.
No, I normally just like to just absorb any incoming fire, so then
the sky is a really big place, and if you fly planes that close together, you're just going to crash them.
Plan. I wrote it down.
Let's just see how we can save more of them.
I mean, fortunately, the advantage of going in with your urban warfare specialists is they've all kind of made their peace with interminable death, and the fact that every operation they're involved in is going to be fairly high casualties. Landing begins. Okay, what's happening simultaneously? Nazeem, back up on the bridge.
And is going, now we need... Come on, fucking Firebirds. They're not Firebirds.
Stormbirds.
Stormbirds, thank you.
Mine's got Firebirds in the brain.
Stormbirds first, I'm grabbing the... and...
First time he's opened it today, Matt.
The area. After response.
As the commander swipes up and down on the data slate Coayah provided him with this 300-page dossier.
The last page has a full breakdown of Astartes' forces distribution.
Yeah, I saw that.
It doesn't account.
I'm not comfortable sending all the Astartes down. Is the thing. So
why?
I don't like the idea of using all of them. We don't need all of them.
You do not need to answer to him right now.
No, this is out of character, though.
It's fair. I believe you wanted to speak
Risking all of them, I think, is a bit much. We don't need all of them, that's why we should use all of them. There's no need to...
I'm just going to nip to the toilet real quick. I'll be right back.
I honestly don't get this whole thing of we don't need all of them. Why are we not just deploying our full strength? There's no reason not to.
If it goes wrong and we need someone to redeploy somewhere else, you don't know what's going to happen. You do not underestimate your enemy, yeah?
You don't, but this plan takes full account of that and literally talks about redeploying forces. If something goes wrong and we don't have our full forces deployed, how are they going to get there? The Dreadclaws are already in use, as are the Stormbirds.
I don't feel comfortable putting 100 Marines down there. That's all. I think using all of them is excessive.
Okay, and we are back. Where are we at, young Nicholas?
So it's deploying the Stormbirds, deploying the Stormbird assault from the Western Ocean in low-flying bombing attacks.
Did we ever clarify how many Stormbirds you actually have?
I might have it somewhere.
A bajillion.
30 transports? Question mark?
No, those are void transports.
Those 3 light cruisers.
Let me just have a look at them.
No, we have 16 escorts.
You're looking at the void ships. Let me just have a look at how many wings I gave you on the ship real quick.
Yeah, I don't think I have that.
If I remember rightly from the Rogue Trader rules, all unused space in a ship is converted to what's considered cargo and stuff like that, right?
Usually, yeah.
Yes, but we are Astartes, so maybe not.
Okay, they can hold 50, so they're not going to have given you shit tons. We'll say you've got the Firebird is 1, and that doesn't count, because that's experimental.
I was going to say that maybe we had 10
I don't think
for accounting for losses.
They've not given you 10 Stormbirds. They're Archaeotech, and they hold 50 Marines, and their primary use is, versatile transports. So they will have given you, I would say 3 to 4.
I do have it noted as well that we have atmosphere fighters as well. That we own.
But those are
probably separate.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can do bombing runs, but
I'll tell you what. Do you want to call me odds or evens, young Nicholas, on whether you have 3 or 4 of these things?
No evens.
Evens. You have 4 Stormbirds, not counting the Firebird.
What ship did Benji go down? Was it another Stormbird?
Benji went down in a Stormbird with his Marines. Or Coayah. So you've got 3, yeah. But to be fair, 3 is still a fair amount of firepower for them to put out.
Yeah, so we can use the 3 in Stormbirds for bombing runs.
Well, I mean, technically it's strafing runs. They've got missiles, and I think we said your ones mostly had turbo lasers, so...
Should we support them with fighters as well? I don't know how deploying them works.
Yeah, I mean,
the fighters have air-to-land stuff, yeah?
We did discuss that all of our aircraft air-capable void... they were a mixture. They were void and air-capable.
Yeah.
Okay, Imperial Aerospace craft. Let me just have a speedy double check. Let's have a look into this. Because they're not going to give you, no support craft for your Stormbirds. It's not reasonable to expect every Stormbird to be its own fucking support.
No support wing for you.
No support wing for 1,000 years. Okay, so I'm looking at a Fury, it looks like. Yeah, I know Fury. Oh wait, no, Wrath.
And also, as they deploy, can we request from Hoira any sort of city plans, maps, anything on Marotha Metroplex?
So it looks like your aerospace fighters would come with 2 wing-mounted las cannons apiece, and then some air-to-air missiles. So they're probably acting in support of the landing operations rather than in support of strafing Zaragoth.
Remember, the whole point of strafing Zaragoth is not to cause destruction, it's just to cause panic and evacuations. Read the plans.
Yes, no, I know. Yeah, cool.
So just one moment.
How many fighters do we have?
I think Ewan was figuring that out. There's something around it.
If you're not while he's figuring that out, young Nicholas, if you're not comfortable sending down all of our forces, how many Marines are going to be deploying in the drop pods with drop pods Dreadclaws with Cread?
40 to 60.
So for coordinating the air run, I will take either a command or a Primer Imperialis. I think we said it was Principia Bellicosa at this point, right?
Yeah.
Or a Law Principia Bellicosa roll from Nazeem, please. You've only got 3 of them, but they are quite good, so we'll say it's at a -10. Intelligence, I think this would be rather than fellowship.
That is fine.
Also, you say 40 to 60, that's the amount I was sending down anyway.
I thought you were sending down all of them.
No.
Dreadclaw was 50.
All the Marines are being used in deployments various on this campaign, not that I was deploying all of them in Dreadclaws.
Can I get the roll, please?
Yeah. Let's fade out.
Get 100.
Still a fail.
It's exactly the same as what it was last. This is
so 1
doff.
A simple failure, yeah. 1 doff.
One doff's right.
So, your air attack run on Zaragoth goes somewhat well. The issue that you're having is it seems, and this is backed up by reports you're getting from the Hoirids slowly as they are trying to double check that they're not being completely lied to, and that this is actually going to work and be fine, and that they're not just going to get attacked by everyone for betraying their well. The Marothan Air Force is significantly more fearsome than you'd expected, which means that there's much heavier flak being directed towards Army Group Delta. They're also doing a fairly decent job of harassing your 3 Stormbirds, which I would say means you've got a clear choice here, Nazeem. Do you want to split your aerospace fighters between the Stormbirds and Army Group Delta, or leave them defending Army Group Delta. The Stormbirds can't do their job effectively without some kind of air-to-air defense, but Army Group Delta will take massively increased losses if they don't have all the support they can get. They're already taking losses now.
That's the point of them.
Yeah, I'd rather lose a few of Delta than possibly not have the Stormbirds A, survive, and B, do their job properly. So,
and the next phase might sort it out anyway, when we just launch 50 fucking Dreadclaws onto the city.
Yeah.
Well, it's happening concurrently, I would hope. It should be, according to the plan.
Coatlmox reads the dossier again and goes, I shall prepare the Dreadclaws, brother captain.
Fortunately,
ready for your order.
As mentioned, they would be on high alert already, so they're pre-prepared.
I shall go and attend my men.
Indeed, and deploy.
Brothers, we have our orders. All military personnel are to be executed with extreme prejudice. All infrastructure, which includes civilians, is to be left mostly untouched.
Someone raises their hand at the back.
Yeah, I literally just raised my hand and was about to say something. You go first.
Could you define mostly?
God damn it, that was going to be what I was thinking.
That's Brother Clarence. You've never liked
at least
Brother Clarence.
functional.
Does that include the civilians?
Yes.
Yes.
You're not
But remember, they can be servitorized. I'll step into my Dreadclaw. I don't like humans.
Oh, you're trying to sort of shepherd them north.
The
They can still move.
The assorted Marines look amongst themselves. Well, they're not happy that the civvies have to be functional, but at least they'll get a chance to actually do some killing. Thank God for that Michelco guy, am I right? No, don't say that. The command crew will fucking hear you.
His ears twitch and his eyes just start going again.
He doesn't know why he's angry as his ship puts down and the fucking entry gangway opens up, but he knows he is. Someone somewhere just said something.
What about my Havoc squads? We gotta shake any buildings up.
Well, yeah. What are you doing, Ollie?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Can't go anywhere yet.
read the dossier.
You have, you know what, Ollie, I'm going to say, you've had at this point, like, an hour in which Benji's constantly been saying, read the dossier. Are you deploying or not deploying? I don't care either way. Creed's taking, like, 5 squads down with him, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna deploy.
Slowly moving my token ever closer.
Okay.
You have the most important job of all. You're the infiltration demolitionist.
So
You've also got control of your token, Ollie. It's going to make everyone's tokens smaller, I think. It should work.
sorry, Benji, I can't find the word Havoc in the doc, so
He doesn't talk about your Havoc squad, he just talks about you specifically. Like,
Iron's actually started twitching in real life.
Instructions unclear, deployed Havoc squad anyway. No, it's fine. It's Ollie's Havoc squad.
Brother Lieutenant Rice to deploy with the infiltration teams and supervise demolitions once inside the metro packs. Sure,
yeah, if you want to be a coward and miss out on all that initial glory.
That's you specifically, not your Havoc squad, because the Havoc squad can't really infiltrate there.
Yeah, if you want to be a coward and miss out on all that, glory.
Do you want to give me your squads? They'd be fun on the Dreadclaw assault.
I mean...
Fucking Coatlmox dipping his head out of his Dreadclaw, everyone else is mounting up.
You know what?
The thing is, though, I don't have any... I only have the Earthquake pun. I can't infiltrate with just an Earth.
I mean, just for the record...
You wouldn't be taking care of the infiltration! We discussed this!
He wants you to be one of the naked Marines who pose with the refugees.
Maccy, for the record, do remember you are a brother lieutenant of equal rank. You don't have to do basically anything that Coayah tells you.
No, I'm fully aware.
Oh, rank.
I'm fully aware. I turn to brother Coatlmox. Brother, would you like to go down with the
I'd like to go down, all right.
with the infiltration squad, or would someone else like to take my place and I bring my Havoc squad along with me in this?
Remember, he's in the flight bay. He's strapped into a Dreadclaw in full armor at this point, along with like
presume he's
five
got
others.
2 chainswords. He's just got 2 chainsaws at this point, ready for the slaughter.
So it's I'm not saying you can't ask him if he doesn't want to trade places at this late juncture. Coatlmox, Maccy, but
out of character, I'm surprised, Benji, that you've decided on a role which I'm spectacularly unsuited for. I've got the
brother,
You're
just
the only one who's got
Dreadclaw.
demolition.
yeah,
Hurry, brother, just hop in a Dreadclaw.
Fine. I will deploy with the infiltration team and supervise demolitions once inside the Metroplex, but I'm not happy about it.
so you're just gonna chicken out in front of everyone there, like Coatlmox just told you get in a Dreadclaw.
Come on, brother, have some fun, swing a sword.
Your Havoc squad are like off to the side, looking a little bit like, yeah, go on, nerd.
Wait, do we have
such a pussy?
Is Kuzco, is he down for being part of the infiltration squad then?
I was misunderstanding. I didn't realise this was an infiltration squad.
No, this isn't infiltration squad. This is just you're all chilling out in the hangar bay, and at this point you're overdue. So you're currently late to invade the city. I would
if this is full-on invasion, then that's what I was trying to I will weld myself to a Dreadclaw if I have to get down there.
Okay, so sorry. Immediately in the Dreadclaw opposite Coatlmox, Kuzco has also positioned himself.
I've got a cowboy hat, just waving it around above my head, just yeah, let's get this on the road.
So yeah, Maccy, Coatlmox eyes you. His helmet, his fucking helmet visors blinking slowly, and you just hear the words emit gently over his external vox. My hands hovering over the activation room, brother. I can't do it.
So, out of character, Benji, what is it you wanted me to do? Because I wasn't listening and you listed through your entire plan, because frankly...
Jesus fucking Christ, I wrote a fucking dossier.
I'm calling pace on that.
Right.
We've already gone over it a million times.
It's, as far as I can tell, you just want me to go down with the infiltration teams, supervise demolitions once inside.
Yeah.
That was the suggestion. Yeah.
Yes, okay, and... why shouldn't my Havoc squad come along with me? Because you want me to disguise myself with the fleeing civilians.
Because they're not a Havoc squad if they're unarmoured and unarmed.
That is a beautiful argument.
Exactly.
Wow.
And why on earth do you want me... I feel like I'm just going to go down there and your heavy weapons guy is going to be unarmoured and unarmed.
Okay.
So I have said this about 3 times.
Yeah.
You are the only person with demolitions.
No, I'm not. I don't have demolitions. We specified this at the end of the campaign. I don't have demolitions. It's a specialist advanced skill, which I'm not a high enough rank to buy yet. Instead, I have to switch out my common law for, I think, Age of Technology weaponry or something.
You used demolitions in the last campaign.
Yeah, but as he just said, he did just explain that.
Switched it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Regardless, okay, context given for everyone. We've now had the plan explained 3.5 times.
Okay.
So I'm going to call pace. Ollie, do you stay or do you go? Either way is fine. People will still react in character, but literally everyone there is telling you that you should go. However, the spectre of Coayah screaming professionalism in the background is telling you, no, do what you're supposed to do.
I don't have demolitions, so I feel like I should go down with...
No feel. You are or you aren't. Either way, please. You are. Okay, cool.
Sorry, Benji. I'm going down because I'm useless, I think, otherwise.
There are cheers amongst the Havoc squad.
So warm.
Right. Am I being relayed this information in character that the plan is being deviated from?
Yeah, let's check in with any of the 3 people in the command squad who are heading down in the Dreadclaws. Actually, no, you've left it too late. You're either you're going or you're not, and the other 2 haven't done it.
We're going. As soon as Ollie steps foot in the Dreadclaw, they're launching.
Slam to the roof of it.
I would like it noted that in my head, at least I think it's in my head, I've got an open local Vox channel going. And I'm just like whilst hand drumming on various things while I'm waiting to get this invasion underway, just thoroughly irritating all of the Marines in my Dreadclaw.
Thoroughly irritating all of the Marines in your Dreadclaw. As you launch into orbit and the Dreadclaws and the atmosphere begins whistling past the Dreadclaw, superheating its outside, you could swear it almost looks like the machine is trying, as you continue to drum on it, to disengage its locks and open the side door with you inside.
Yeah, as I'm descending, I suppose I'm relaying everything I'm relaying what's happened to Coayah. I'm training with death volitions, damn it. I have no practical knowledge of it yet. That's why I have a quick gun.
I chime in over the box. You're being a narc to yourself. What the hell, brother?
You said he turned in over the box there. So is that also being broadcast?
Yeah.
Because if so, I would like Coayah to roll toughness to prevent him having an aneurysm.
Sure, let's see if you get a stress headache. I'll take toughness.
Cough up a mouthful of blood if you fail hard enough. Oh!
That is a 1.
Why did you have to get a roll on that?
Oh, fuck, man.
This is the second time I've seen Benji roll a 1 on a functionally useless roll.
No, you're right, Benji. You've not had a real life.
I think he's dead. It's actually killed him.
Brain.
He's just let him have a little cry for a little bit.
Can it be that Coayah has basically taken off his helmet and spent the last 10 minutes since he received that box message banging his head on the hastily erected plasteel wall?
Inside the fucking Stormbird, void shields up, helmet off, whacking yourself against the wall, screaming, "It's fine, it's fine, it's fine," as the skin bruises and tears, blood running in rivulets, and then immediately clotting, forming a thick crust of pure carmine frustration. Carmine?
Don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it. I'm thinking about it.
If I was a Marine seeing that, I wouldn't think that was very professional.
That was beautiful. I really hope that for the rest of this mega campaign you get 1s continually for every non-important role you ever have. That's 2 so far. Okay. So, the actual Dreadclaw assault. Those are auto-targeted, and they've even got the old Archaeotech auto-targeting systems, so they're better at it. So there's nothing you need to roll there. And I believe you were just dropping straight into the city, right?
The southern section, I believe.
Cool.
Specifically, yeah.
Straight into the southern section of Zaragoth. Well, actually, you know what? Let's check in with the Rogue Command Squad, half. Whereabouts are you dropping?
I'd just be trying to land dead in the middle of the centre, personally.
Fair, let me just swap you with Maccy and Kuzco and Coatlmox.
I want to get as close to friendlies as possible. Like, if I can be proverbially on top of them, but not quite literally, that would be, like, glorious.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same with that. As central as possible to friendlies.
So, due to Coatlmox slightly altering where the things are supposed to land, you will mostly be landing in a tightly clustered set in the centre of Zaragoth.
I don't know if we can ask, am I want to aim for the tallest building?
Oh, we're not gonna... No, I shouldn't say that. That's just poor taste.
Oh,
almost certainly.
Do you even know what I was going to say?
Yes.
We all had an idea.
Go on, say it.
That's bad even for me. Like,
no.
So, one by one, will Dreadclaws thump into the earth. The centre of Zaragoth is ablaze. The Stormbirds dueling overhead are doing their best to pump fire down into the actual city proper, but they're not having too much success. Sorry, I'm echoing on someone.
Like Firebirds?
Okay, I've stopped echoing. Cool. Whilst you might potentially have expected on any other day to find the heavily militarized port city to have people here to see you, ready to resist, as of an hour or so ago, not even that, like half an hour, 45 minutes, everyone started rushing for the primary landing point of Army Group Delta. Leaving the 60 Marines, actually, yeah, not 63, because the drop pods only have a capacity of 10. leaving the 60 Marines in the middle of Zaragoth city centre. Marines there, what do? And then we'll flip back to Benji. Sorry, I am echoing, I think, on you, Nicholas.
As soon as the door opens, I shall shout through my voice. Any non-combatants, if you flee, you may be spared. For all else, there is only death. And I'll just start running around, chopping people up.
Yeah, as soon as he's finished saying that, I jump out and scream, Rampage!
And as soon as he's done, I scram out, I leap out and scream, Havoc Squad, let's cause some chaos.
I just cry a little inside.
Chaos!
Ollie, I don't tell you this enough, but I really appreciate your friendship.
Oh man, so nice to hear.
Like, I'm just wondering
I'll
if,
put in a transfer. I'll join the 4th Legion. It's all okay.
I'm just wondering if my brother is doing this because he knows that, like, affected by this behaviour, or if he genuinely just, like, it's just a thing he does, you know?
I'm just really proud of my Havoc Squad and how much chaos they cause.
And those are all perfectly reasonable words to use at this point in time. Not a single eyebrow raised. He shouts it openly over the Vox.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, like, my thing isn't necessarily relating to the impending heresy. I'm more going with, we're meant to be, like, highly trained, tightly knit, like, soldiers.
100%.
Yeah, but you screamed Rampage.
Now, let's be fair, he screamed that inside the Dreadclaw, not over his external loudhailers, and then, and I quote, started chopping people up.
Yeah, that's like inside voice out loud.
Okay, so, in order then, Coatlmox, I will take weapon skill at plus 30. Maccy, ballistic skill at plus 30. And Kuzco, how are you playing this? I mean, Coatlmox is rolling for 4 squads, Maccy's rolling for his squad, so it means you're rolling for the final squad, I think. Well, you don't have to be, actually. You can be doing solo if you want.
Like, realistically, it would be better if I was doing it as a squad.
That's right.
Can I get the immovable warrior trait? When in cover, gain sturdy and plus 10 to all ballistic skill?
You're not really in cover at the moment. You're, like, sprinting around the city centre.
I'm rolling off my stat, right? Sorry.
Sorry, yeah, I wanted to ask what you were doing before I asked you what to roll. But yes, you'd be rolling off of your stats.
What was the
I think I said
plus
20.
I apologise.
I think I said plus 20 for you, Ollie.
I need to fake that. Because that would have been a failure. That is a pass. 1 degree success.
Hey. And Carl, what did you want to be doing?
Precision strikes out of it, just like target selection and firing off control bursts.
I like the idea of any building you aim at just suddenly starts collapsing. You're unsure entirely why until you see my squad. It's like, hey, gravity gun down.
Just troll facing across.
Cool. In that case, I think I'll take intelligence from you, please, Carl. I'll take Principia Bellicosa, which is Primera Imperialis, over intelligence, please. As you try to follow through with the plan and, like, strike key military infrastructure whilst forcing people northwards.
Right, that, like, you son of a monkey nut.
That was like that was 1 doff, even.
Yeah. So close. Oh, you! I mean, it was 69, but, like, come on!
Well, I mean, it's at least the best loss you could get, right? But yeah, that's still 1 doff. Okay.
But, like, yeah. I tried, guys. I tried.
The issue that you're facing here, Kuzco, the thing that's really fucking you over as you try to, like, precision target things, is the massive panic caused in the city. Now, a good deal of this is by Maccy and his Havoc squad causing as much chaos as they possibly can. Just wrecking, like, if you'll recall, he's got, I think it's 5 graviton cannons, including his own, and 5 heavy bolters in that squad. So they're sort of evenly divided between annihilating civvies and buildings, and then larger buildings and oncoming vehicles, and it's just a fucking mess as they take down the architecture as quickly and as destructively as they can. But then, even he's kind of having trouble with it. It's difficult, and the reason that it's difficult is because of how target-rich an environment it is, and the reason it's such a target-rich environment is because of what Coatlmox is doing as We have Kuzco on 1 DOS, Maccy on 1 DOS, and Coatlmox on 4 DOS with Rip and Tear. And under his command, 39 Marines.
Sounds like some proper, ship rolls downhill sort of scenario.
The Zaragoth CBD descends into a bloodbath almost immediately, and people start fleeing in every direction. Colossal skyscrapers beginning to empty and evacuate as people try to flee the city and are met with power-armoured death. Blood and skins and skulls soak the streets. Coatlmox, you got 4 DOS. What is the spin you're putting on this butchery, if anything?
Well, there's a little bit of butchery.
I'm trying to respect Benji's order, so I only cheekily kill a civilian about 1 in 10. But other than that, it's just indiscriminate slaughter running through the streets.
We'll add up.
Not that many soldiers, unfortunately, is the thing. You gave them their chance to evacuate, and they didn't do it immediately, literally.
Follow my screen.
Okay. So, the slaughter in Zaragoth begins to filter out over the Vox. Coayah! Your soldiers have landed and formed something like a reasonable perimeter. They've taken actually really heavy casualties on the trip down. A fair amount of your air support was drawn off, so especially a lot of the later arriving landers just started getting blown out of the sky by the Morothan Air Force. But you've got some thousands of troops. Actually, what was the approximate numbers we had for these guys? Delta... Did I give numbers?
For what? For Delta?
Yeah.
They were 50 to 60,000.
Yeah.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, so we'll say... Benji, give me a... I'll take a D20 plus... No. I'll take a D40 plus 20, and we'll see what percentage of their troops they've lost. 22%. So, not as bad as it could have been. 1 in 5 annihilated on the landing trip down. A testament to your stellar organisational skills. But
heavy losses that are now kind of pointless.
Still, will all go fine as long as, and at that point the information starts to flow in over the Vox, that about half of your company, in fact slightly more than that, 60 Marines have touched... We'll say 63. I want it to be the full squads. Otherwise, there's 3 people from those squads left back on the ship. So 63 Marines have touched down in Zaragoth and are slaughtering. People are fleeing the city, but not all in one focused group. There's quite a number fleeing, trying to get to the port, or attempting to flee directly south cross-country, as well as people fleeing north per the original plan.
I would like to vox the rest of the command squad and ask, so stage 3 and 4 of the plan are not in position then?
Yeah, you're getting a fair amount of static. It's difficult to get in touch with them. I'll take a tech.
Okay, in which case, can I box the captain?
The captain is a free box. Yeah, you've definitely. I mean, because you've got the Stormbird, so you're easily able to get contact with him.
Can I box the captain and ask, are stages 3 and 4 of the plan still in position?
Nazeem, you're muted, you're Nicholas.
For fuck's sake, I haven't been talking for a little while. Quick look at stages. There's only 3 stages? There isn't 4 stages, there's 2 stages in your plan.
Of the initial part of the plan, where the infiltration teams and the backup infiltration teams... I know out of character that they're not, but in character I would like some clarification.
I think it's still got a plan, isn't it? I thought that was the plan. Just deploy and push them north.
No.
We're not going north.
Oh, this is all in character information.
No, because you've redeployed incorrectly.
You can just say to him that you think everything's fine, or you can. I will say you're on the bridge. You've got a tactical readout. You can see that the company has deployed out of position to Zaragoth.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I will inform him that they have deployed incorrectly in the center of Zaragoth rather than south.
I would ask you for further clarification. Is the refugee stream moving north, as predicted?
You can see, you can see the information from earlier that there are refugees moving in basically all directions as long as they leave Zaragoth.
Yeah, some of them. If you could try to corral some of the ones going south and east, north, that'd be great.
Try. Are the infiltration teams in position and ready to go?
All our brothers are deployed.
We could have gone down without them. So.
In full armour.
Acknowledged, brother captain.
One is the only thing stopping Benji killing Solomon.
It really fucking is.
Right, in which case, I can remove my armour in the field, right?
Yes, it's more difficult to put back on, but you've got Stormbird's Void Shields protecting you. You're fine.
In which case,
before you do, Benji, might I suggest a more company opinion friendly approach?
What?
Which is the infiltration was to disable the Void Shields, right?
Yes.
Surely the Legion would be happy for me to lead a foot charge all the way from Zaragoth into there myself to disable them, if infiltration was no longer an option.
The whole point of the infiltration was so that you, brave Coayah, brave Coatlmox, as I named you in the dossier, were to lead all of our remaining battle brothers in a strike straight to the heart of Morocco.
Now,
I'll do that right now.
Strictly fair here. You did give, targeting command to someone who self-identifies with the nickname The Eyeless.
I know. I just guess I didn't see where I was going.
Yeah, but no, this was all of the Dreadclaws go back up, and then he's redeployed. Not right now.
How long would
Never mind. Right. In which case, can I use command to try and ascertain on the ground, basically set up a command structure on the ground for the Army Group Delta to take command there, and for me to get my Marines in position to do an ad hoc tactical change and swap into infiltration squads?
No.
Oh, I can help as well, actually. I'll comms over to my men. You are now fully able to slay any civilians not fleeing north.
That doesn't help.
I mean...
It might.
It doesn't hurt, is the thing.
Sorry, it's the optimism in that phrase.
The inflection on it was just perfect.
Jesus Christ. Cool. You can try for an ad hoc tactical change. Yeah, you're going to need a way to get behind enemy lines. So the reason that the Zaragoth troops are having such an easy fight at the moment is because Zaragoth's rapidly redeployed a huge chunk of its military south to meet the invading army, which, your Imperial Army troops are now engaging on the ground. They've begun, throwing up primitive earthworks and such, trying to get their prefab bunkers and shit down. Nothing massive, but they're trying to basically prepare their usual defensive line as they get, a wave of localized forces coming straight at them. However, also, a thing that you're hearing over the Vox is that a fairly large portion of the troops that were coming towards you have now redeployed back to defend Zaragoth. They evidently are unfamiliar with the usage of drop pods in general warfare.
You wouldn't deploy in 2 places at once?
Right, in which case we're going to have to beat back the attack here, and then try and triple time our way across the fucking thing to catch up with the refugee stream. Right, in which case I'd like to do a command roll to try and take command of the situation on the ground, lead the troops to victory.
Okay, I will take... you're already in command of them, but I'll say command at a +10. I think you're in a good spot here.
Okay.
I'm glad your boots on the ground, Benji.
Literally gave you that job so you'd have the honour of first blood.
No, I didn't want to do it at this point.
I will re-roll.
Nick picks up the bear potion.
That is a pass.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a +10 from my talent.
Why are you first on the ground anyway, Nick?
So I am at 65, so that is 3 degrees of success.
3 degrees of success. Yeah, splitting that, rapidly redeploying their forces and then splitting the forces after they'd rapidly redeployed was not a good move from the defenders of Zaragoth. The local military is reasonably professional. They're not quite on the same scale as your elite troops. your Solent Salutaires. In the light woodland and brush scrub south of Zaragoth, tracer lasfire and heavy staccato bolters can be heard echoing for miles around. The landed Lehman Russes of your attending Imperial Army... what are they called at this point?
They are Malcador pattern... They're Malcadors, I think, because they haven't found the Lehman Russ STC.
Wait,
obviously, they haven't found Lehman Russ either.
You've only got Malcador?
Malcadors are super heavies, though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Alright, yeah. Well, I suppose it's the start of the Great Crusade. You know what? Wait, no, Land Raiders haven't been found yet, have they? Fuck.
No, Land Raiders haven't been found. They've got a whole bunch of weird vehicles.
Yep, screw it. You know what? We're going to run with it. You've got Malcador. So your Malcador heavy tanks, a number of which had been blown out of the sky, but they're fucking Malcadors, so with a fair amount of, optimistic field surgery, or field technicianry, you're able to get them working again, even though the occupants are thoroughly squishified. And between heavy support tanks... between fucking heavy Malcador fucking super heavies and your elite troops and their rapid redeployment and splitting of their forces, the Zaragoth defenders are reasonably quickly routed. Casualties are, again, somewhat high amongst your attending army troopers. I'll take let's call it a D10, see how much percentage you lose, Benji. 10%. So they're pushing forward viciously, but they are routing the enemy. That said, the Zaragoths are fighting for their home, both literally and in terms of the planet, or both locally and in terms of the planet, and they put up a fierce resistance, tooth and nail. Fierce, but not coordinated. And they're cut down where they stand in their thousands, even as they give out almost as good as they're getting.
So guys, I found a bigger bear poking stick. I'm just wondering now, was this maybe then the correct course of action to cause the forces to split, therefore making the attack so smoothly there? Just that. Big old stick.
It is frequently said that no battle plan survives contact with the enemy. It is somewhat rarely said that no battle plan survives contact with the people executing the battle plan. And well, on that subject, as Coayah begins to push forwards, let's skip back to the bridge and see what's happening up there. Nazeem, what are we up to?
Having a cup of tea.
You've got a cup of steaming hot recaf in front of you. To one side, Seb is standing there with the teapot in hand.
And for my mental image, are you like a pinky finger out sort of guy or not?
No, it's like full armor, this tiny cup in between two fingers, helmet up.
Name for this.
That's a minus 10 to dexterity test.
Legs up, watching the battle mat.
This is actually one of the... Yes, that is a minus 10 dexterity test, but he's very practiced with this. This cup of tea, this teacup, in fact, is one of the last remnants he has of his life back on Terra. He's had it since he was a child, managed to keep it since basic training. This is a teacup given to him by... It was given to you by someone important, Nazeem. Who gave you this teacup?
Oh, God.
Perhaps a parent?
A sister figure.
Your elder sister gave you this teacup. You don't really know what happened to her, so it's the last remnant a memory you have of any kind of family, and it's a symbol of your link to humanity. And though it would usually be a minus 10, yes, and you might be at risk, you have been drinking out of this teacup in full power armor for your entire career, more or less, since you could get away with it. Much more frequently since you made captain. So, Nazeem, recaf aside, what are we doing?
I need to get hold of Mr. Admech at some point. I'm assuming he still hasn't contacted me.
That would be Majos Adjutant Manabi Virith. And no, he has not. Attempts to contact him are met with a reply by one of his secretary, Magi, who informs you that the Majos Adjutant is not to be disturbed.
I will send him a copy of the dossier, and an updated report of what's going on, and that For the Imperium, the Titans will be needed later on.
Your attempts to get in touch over the Void Ship's intranet unfortunately meet with failed to send replies.
I have someone physically run down a copy to him with the explicit message of, if I don't get a reply back, I'll be coming down, and it's not going to end well.
Okay. It's only at that you manage to get some kind of reply voxed back up from the runner that you sent down with the very open threat. You get the reply that there has been a security incident in the Forge Shrine. Someone has broken into the Magus Adjutant's office, and the Mechanicum will be participating in no military activity until they can get this sorted.
The Cure channel to the rest of the fucking command squad. Did anyone fuck with the Magos' fucking
Quick.
office?
I sincerely hope not. That's the most sacred of places. I lie confidently.
I need an answer because you won't get any Titans if it's not fixed.
I didn't I'm sure nothing's actually broken.
What do you mean actually broken? Did you do it?
No. Sorry. Comm static. Planet into...
Yeah, seconds later, almost as though an order had gone out stealthily, it seems like long-range comms has been lost with all of Coatlmox's squads on the planet.
Am I in sight range of
Coatlmox.
Yeah, thank you.
You know what? Let's take a test. I think this is going to be awareness perception. I'll let you do it with a +0 to see if you can see him amidst the spray of gore and collapsing buildings.
Just gonna think on his comms.
Nope.
82.
That's 5 DOS.
You lost track of him somewhere. Like, he entered a shopping centre and seconds later the shopping centre collapsed. You'd think that might have been friendly fire from the Havoc squad, doing their thing, causing chaos. But it sounds like he's still killing within there, so he might be in, potentially the local metro? It's unclear. He's certainly active over the Vox, so he doesn't seem to be dead, but you can't see him.
The time frame on deploying the Titans to get to Fort Stannis. How much leeway do I have until they have to start being prepped and readied and whatnot?
So they would be on high alert, but they'd also need the Mechanicum to sign off on them going. Or, well, not strictly speaking true. They would need the Mechanicum to not have specifically countermanded them going anywhere.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out, how long can I leave it until I dob my fellow brother in?
So they're basically ready to go, right? Because everyone was on high alert, you knew you might have to invade a planet, so all of your stuff was prepped on the way in. That said, I'm going to say, I know you're a lovely, rational person in character. I think you would have had enough experience with the Mechanicum to know that, short of offering them Coatlmox, they're not necessarily likely to just forgive and forget.
No Titans, then. Orbital bombardment it is.
Okay. That means you'll need to get into low orbit. And I think you wanted to see if you could get information from the Hoyrans first, right? To see what the state of local orbital defenses was. They're very keen to help you, but also that's proper state secret trump card stuff. So I will take a charm, please, Nazeem, at a +0.
Okay.
Will he get any bonuses for the fact that news might now be spreading on the Planetary Vox network that, what the heck's it called? Zaragot has fallen. Its military forces routed. pretty quickly, actually.
It hasn't completely fallen yet. I still need to know.
Has it not? It's got 60 Marines rampaging around inside of it.
So on the one hand,
forces have been routed.
On the one hand, Maccy is technically correct. It hasn't technically fallen yet. On the other hand, Coayah is also correct. Functionally, it's fucked. Like, it's still got resisting defenders at the moment, but they're not going to last more than an hour or two at the most.
We've breached the city, and its army has been routed in the field.
Yeah.
It's...
So they're kind of slightly screwed. You know what? It's mild proof of intent. I will give you a +5.
Nope.
Cafe.
I do. I'm not sure it's going to go any better. I'm rolling at like a 42 or under. Rating. Oh my god, my success.
That is a DOS.
That is 42, so 1 DOS.
You get an excited cry from one of your assorted human adjutants as they hold up a sheaf. Palpatine? Oh no! A sheaf of recently printed papers. My lord, the information from Horantis is through. We have the estimated locations for Marothan's anti-void defenses. So, there are 2 locations in the Gralloch range, which Horantis doesn't know for sure, but believes that they approximately house some kind of Archaeotech anti-void facility. Like, efficacy is questionable, but hypothetically they're pretty sure there's something up there. I've marked them with black X's on the map. They're just to the left and right of the Gralloch range labeling.
Nice. So we'll take those out first.
So in order to orbitally bombard, you need to enter low orbit, basically. But which puts you in range of orbital defenses.
Yeah. They did show that those locations, nothing on defenses or anything like that.
No, they're not even like specific locations. They're like approximate. There's a secret thing here and a secret thing here.
Okay. In which case, Havoc Squad, I've got a job for you.
Cause chaos.
Go take at least that first facility.
The Havoc Squad cannot easily redeploy right now. Oh, I suppose they could if you landed a Stormbird for them, but like the drop pods can take off again, but they also don't go super fast on the way up. So then, when you don't have air superiority, it is dicey.
Let's Stormbird them.
We're going to be doing the old shake and bake.
Yep. I need you to try to take those 2 facilities. Toot sweet. Also, we'll give them some fighters for like 1 or 2, just for safety, in case they get into some trouble. Whatever's feasible amount. I don't want to like overdo it, but like the minimum.
Cool. Well, I mean, let's take a roll on that from you then, please, Kuzco and Nazeem. I'll take a command roll to see if you can estimate it successfully.
Can I do a Scholastic Law War?
Yeah, I think that's probably... I technically, this is Principia Bellicosa rather than War, for the record. But yeah, go ahead. I think it's Principia Bellicosa rather than War. It seems like we'll cover it.
Budging with me.
Oh.
There's no bonuses or anything, is there?
Nope.
I felt that by 3 could fate that.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you don't, then there's a good chance you end up sending 3 fighters, and we end up falling into Inferno Mountain Range.
Let's fate that.
There we go, I survived. Cool. Macuiltotec gets to live another day.
Yeah, no, you
3 dust.
One of your adjutants suggests that, you try and play it subtle, and after a brief moment, you something in your mind tells you, wait a second, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're about to attack what the enemy thinks is probably their trump card, and you're going to have to search for it as well. Like, you need all the air support you can get, especially since the Army Group Delta is already down, and they're difficult to strafe, plus the Space Marines are incredibly difficult to strafe. They're mostly underground or chopping their way through civilian hordes at the moment.
If we have that going, and then Coatlmox, if you can return to your Dreadclaw once you've finished killing everyone in the city, so you can redeploy and kill more people later on.
You don't have air superiority, so the Dreadclaws are functionally out of the fight until after.
We would be happy to march.
You do have Stormbirds.
But we would be happy to march.
Cross country, half a continent, short ways, but still.
We'll sprint the whole way. I think we can do that.
So, let's get a roll from Maccy real quick on this.
Okay. What do you want?
So you're going to need to be, you're leading the search with the Stormbird, basically. So I will take awareness over perception, please. These are a hidden mount facility, so I'm going to give you a -10. You do have the Stormbird sensors and stuff.
Quick question. I know Foresight's normally for me.
You cannot give Foresight to Maccy. I draw the line at Foresight transferable via assist.
I'm pretty sure you can't do it, yeah.
It's not a psychic power, that's what I was saying.
No, I get that.
Okay, that's fine.
But I do draw the line at you can transfer your Foresight via assist. I'm just not getting it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I'm gonna be right back. 5 minutes. Puppy.
Where is it? Cool, okay, yeah, in which case, what does trains mean again for my basic skills? +10? Plus nothing? I forget
+10 if it's the second tick.
Yeah, okay. Cool, so awareness.
+0 then, right?
Yeah, +0, awareness over perception. Perception's 40.
You get a bonus to your senses, right?
Yeah.
Your armor wouldn't count in this circumstance.
+20, isn't it?
No, your armor wouldn't count in this circumstance because he doesn't get a helmet in.
I mean, I have heightened senses +10 to sight and sound.
Yeah, he'd still get his innate heightened senses, but I don't think the helmet counts at that distance.
Okay, I think that's an armor trait. I don't.
No, you have two. Yeah, so you have a +10 from your armor and a +10 just innately. Okay. So you get one it's +20 with the helmet on, or in situations where the helmet applies, and +10 otherwise. And the helmet doesn't really apply here, but you still get the innate +10.
Oh, in which case I pass then.
Cool. So sorry, who was echoing on someone? I think it's Ollie.
Is it me? Me.
Cool. So, Maccy and his Havoc squad redeploy to the Stormbird, and then jet over to the Growlock range. That is going to be a fairly speedy trip for you all. And was it one DOS?
Me.
One DOS for me.
For Ollie, yeah.
One DOS.
Cool. Okay, then it takes you maybe an hour or so to find the first facility, in which time the air grows thick with Morothan fighters, and your aerospace fighters, not equipped as they are for fighting in atmosphere, are facing a somewhat difficult fight ahead of them as they try and keep the enemy off your back. But eventually you do manage to deploy to a rather old-looking silo. There are a number of terrified ground troops outside. A lot of them look like fresh conscripts. What is your strategy here, Maccy? You're still muted.
Does the Stormbird have a loud hailer on it?
I don't think so. The engines are so loud, you basically never get to use it. You have one in your helmet,
yeah, okay.
So you can use one after you land.
Cool. Okay, I guess. Make sure that there isn't a clean shot to me as we open the door, and then through the loud hailer on my helmet, vox out: "Those who run shall be spared, or they ease our way. Those who do not shall be slaughtered where they stand."
Sorry, I should have given more of a descriptive segment there. So you have to speedily touch down, all pile out of the Stormbird, so that there's enough time to so that it doesn't get bombed to oblivion.
Okay.
And then you crawl rapidly through this mountainous terrain where you see this silo half recessed into the mountain with a number of not pillboxes outside, but minor guard posts and things with terrified conscripts, quite a number of whom have seen you. It doesn't have a single door to enter it. It's got two colossal doors, maybe twice the size of a Titan, and they're currently shut. You can, however, loud hail from there as the
they've clearly seen us, haven't they? Yeah, we've not approached them stealthily.
Yeah.
So I'm going to vox out my loud hail out my commands.
Okay, I will take.
I have returned.
Awesome.
And Zaragot has fallen.
Yeah, by this point it probably has. I will take Intimidate, please, Ollie. I'm going to give you a +20. There's maybe 40 to 50 of them scattered around the place, but they're conscripts, and they at least look piss terrified.
Oh, I think with my Does this count as a strength test? Intimidate rolls of strength? Or is it just because now we get the +20 to it? I don't know if that's quite how that works.
No, I don't think you should have the strength on this, right? Because you're
That's
like...
fine, that's fine.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
It's not strict muscle, right? So...
Yeah, that's fair. So +10 already, so +30 total.
Roll off your fellowship if that's higher, I don't know.
I think I actually did make that. 30 +50. No, I didn't. I'm going to reroll.
80.
Oh, 80, yeah, I made that actually then. 1 degree of success. Thank you for the quick math there.
That's okay. I was like, no, you made it by 1.
Okay.
Second time.
Quite a number of conscripts immediately start fleeing their posts, including people from hidden posts scattered around the place, fleeing off into the mountains. They can see the air war happening above them. Like, this is the end of all things. They're going to fucking die. Some of them will have seen or heard what's been happening in Zaragoth, the slaughter, seen pit feeds of especially one gore-drenched, skin-covered monstrosity screaming as he cuts down the streets. Creed, what weapons were you armed with? I know Benji said double chainswords, but I don't know what you actually had.
With just been chainswords.
So it was double chainswords?
Yeah.
2 giant club-like chainswords, ripping and tearing, seeming to cleanse his victims. So they're somewhat scared, and perhaps a few hundred people desert, rushing off into the mountains, desperate to at least buy another few hours of survival, which leaves the underdefended silo relatively easy pickings for you and your Havoc squad. It's child's play to force your way inside and murder the few remaining defenders. You can see once in that this is what looks like an orbital defense laser. You're not familiar with it specifically, but like you know the general structure. It is an anti-void capable ground-to-void weapon.
Cool. I'm going to... Okay, idea. Any chance I can point that laser at the Morocco Metroplex void shield?
No, lasers do not curve, and there's most of the mountain range in the way.
I don't know if we're at the very top. That's fine.
Could you shoot through the mountain to make a hole big enough?
Not without killing himself from the backlash of an anti-void ship laser hitting at reasonably close range.
Yeah, let's also just double check and see what Ollie's... Do you have void? No, you don't. So he can't operate it anyway.
I was more thinking that we could call down the AdMech and let them know what tasty prize we found after going through...
AdMech is not going to be helping us.
I mean this is sweet pickings. Is this a bit of Archaeotech anti-orbital laser tech?
So, are you suggesting that you want to send an open message that you've secured this Archaeotech laser up to the Obsidian Heart?
No, just to Nick. Yeah, I want to send a message to
so you want to send it secure so that the AdMech can't hear you.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. We are. I'm going to also vox up. I presume I have a method of voxing up to him.
You've got a squad vox with you.
Okay. So I vox up to Brother Captain, inform of the Archaeotech that has been found, and suggest this could maybe be a useful bargaining chip with the AdMech later.
Beautiful. I'll select now, disable it, do not destroy it, disable it, and proceed to the second location.
I think he has. He's just terrified all the people who are manning the damn thing.
Make sure that if anyone comes back, they can't immediately just start shooting at us.
And it is a thoroughly vast structure. You actually, you killed a fair number of civvies when you got in here, but you also have no idea if there's a hidden control room, or what does what, or if you've done more than clean out the janitorial staff and the defenders.
Yeah, I don't have enough technical knowledge to understand how I could disable this thing.
Well,
at best,
you know what they say, Maccy, when all you have is a grav cannon.
I mean, I suppose, misalign some mirrors. I mean, my weapons are functionally just big pushy things. Maybe I just push the laser a little bit.
We want to bribe the AdMech with this ultra-rare tech. I'm a grav cannon it.
Your weapons are just big pushy things. In the same way that a bullet is just a big pushy thing. It just pushes what's in front of it. Yeah,
I suggest you just destroy all the doors and no one can actually get in on your way out.
Okay. I mean,
Again, it is a vast complex.
I don't think this is something I can do, Nick. I've secured. We can do it. Maybe I can do a quick sweep of the upper levels with my Havoc squad. We'll cause a little bit of chaos, then we'll leave. We'll go to the next silo.
Ensure that everyone in there is dead. Spend an hour.
That is what he's already done. Is he's like, he's swept what levels he can, but it is a colossal installation. There is literally no. It would take you a couple of days to sweep it in its entirety, basically. Given that you don't know it at all, and the people who work here presumably do.
You could just leave one Marine there and tell him to shoot it if it starts shooting.
No, I don't think I want to. And in any case, it was so easy to take this place over in the first place. Can't imagine it'd be much more difficult the second time, especially if
the issues the second time, if they're already shooting at us, we're already in trouble.
I would suggest then, Nick, you get a squad of a generic army squad down there to occupy it.
There's almost no way that you're going to be able to land down here. The Stormbird was having trouble keeping up with the amount of air power that they're putting out. It's the only advantage that they've got over you at the moment is they're putting out a shit ton of air power. Like, it's really harassing your void to ground operations.
I don't think you can get us unless I stay here. Like, it's too big, it's too complex.
Are there any remote explosives we can put on it so that we can plant them, leave, and then if we need to, we can blow it?
Well, I got crack grenades and I got frag grenades, but basically I've got nothing. It's too big to secure. There's too many holes. It's the Swiss cheese of defense options.
Okay, we've done what we can there. Go to the other one.
Okay, yeah, it's a decent gamble. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment there's one disabled, one functional. If we have maybe one disabled and one definitely disabled, that's a better gamble.
I see where you're coming from. Okay, that probably sounds like next week's stuff, though. Shall we skip back to the city? So it took Ollie or Maccy an hour or so to get his troops together, get over there, get landed, and then like another 10 minutes on top of that to like do the sweep of the upper levels of the facility. In which time, Coayah's army has pushed up to Zaragoth. They've gone at actually an incredibly rapid pace. What are you doing? Because you've been encircling a fair amount of troops, and a number of the Zaragoth, like the reserve forces, the people who've been called up at low notice and just have no idea what the fuck's happening. You've got quite a few prisoners of war, people who are surrendering. What are we doing with those, Coayah?
How many have I got?
Probably some thousands and mounting.
Fresh refugees.
That's the worst possible tone anyone's ever said that phrase in, but carry on.
Basically, I would like to ensure they are all disarmed and brought to staging posts where we can make use of them later.
It's fair. You did set up those limited fortifications towards the rear, and you've been fighting through forested terrain, so it's not super difficult for you to like set up impromptu, not really camps, but corrals, as the rest of your army pushes towards Zaragoth. Let's see how Kuzco and Coatlmox have been getting on. What are things like in Zaragoth right now? You've basically had free reign over the city. The people who tried to come back to oppose you got rapidly caught up with from behind by Coayah's army. And you've been murderizing your way in 2s and 3s through most of the populace.
I'm happy to just murderize as efficiently as possible in like I say pincer movement, but it's more like a rock and a hard place.
Oh yeah, that's true. Sorry. So Kuzco's been like doing his best to keep his squad together and to strike key military targets and make sure that things are going well on that front. Whereas the 3 squads who aren't under anyone have been following Coatlmox's lead and just like rip and tear, and there's 2s and 3s of them all over the place, massacring their way around the place. What's happening with Coatlmox's squad?
One sec. What? My Discord mic is weird. I don't know. If we haven't received any further orders, I guess we'll just be continuing as we were.
I think we last left you in the metro. The shopping centre had just collapsed on you.
Yeah. Guess I'll just be proceeding through the tunnels. Oh, a metro, eh? Do any of its tunnels lead north?
Quite a few.
Brothers, I have a grand plan. I'm going to first see if I can find a functional train on these rails. If so, try and point it north and ride into Metroplexic, hopefully. If not, start marching along the rails.
You tell us about this.
I don't think so. There's a risk you might countermand him.
I can't countermand him. I don't outrank him.
But Nick can.
Yes, and his Vox is off right now.
He's got his long-range Vox off for exactly this reason.
Oh yeah, I'll local comms over to Coayah. For whatever reason, I'm treating him better than
Coayah is thoroughly on the long-range Vox, I'm afraid.
Can you not get a bit short range?
Sorry, for some reason, I'm the one who suggested you be put at the forefront of the assault.
So you have a short-range Vox and a long-range Vox, right? And the long-range Vox is like 10,000 kilometers, and the short-range Vox is like 100 meters.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was that short.
Yeah, it's like one is for talking to your squad, and the other is for talking to your ship.
Alright, then I'll briefly open long-range comms and let out the message. Found underground tunnels. Some lead north. We'll see if these are an appropriate travel option. And I'll cut comms again.
A flurry of order-acknowledged icons light up on your HUD from your other squads there, Coatlmox.
I do like how we've currently got a guy in the brig for, not listening to orders. And we're currently flagrantly disregarding orders.
It's a bit different, isn't it?
I mean, speak for yourself.
I will take
Kuzco.
I will take an awareness check, please. I think awareness over weapon skill, Coatlmox, to see what happens with you and the trains.
Alright.
As you slaughter your way in a specific direction.
Have you guys seen Invincible?
Alright.
I have, it's very good.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's
I know exactly what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Well, I think someone's getting hit by a fucking train. 4 doff. Right, does anyone remember what damage did we cause for the cars?
Something like 3d10
I think it was
5.
5d10, okay. And this is a train, as Coatlmox runs around in the underground metro.
Oh no.
Oh,
You know what?
Again.
I say we be entirely fair with this, and give you 100% random numbers. But a lot of them. So I will take... Should we call it a 25 D10?
I was going to say 12. Jesus.
He's getting hit by a train, which will almost certainly speed up when it sees him.
Is it a tube train? Oh my god!
That is a big number.
Is it a big train, or is it is it like a cargo train?
It is a big. You know what? I think for that number, it's a cargo train he gets hit by.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was a pretty big high end.
Does he get a dodge roll for this?
No, he's on a train. You know what? If you do a dodge and get 10 or under, you're fine. Don't get a 1. I'm so embarrassed to get a 1. Oh, thank Christ.
Bait it. Dodge the train.
Don't dodge the train.
Dodge the train.
The right one as well.
Dodge the train.
Medicine. That ain't medicine.
Train is medicine. You can't prove it.
It's percussive medicine.
Exactly.
It will cure what ails you. It just won't cure you.
They call him Coatlmox eyeless, limbless Ical.
All his best quality implants.
He's going to end up in. We're all understanding he's going to end up in a dreadnought, right?
I kind of live for the idea that by the end of the campaign, even his brain is cybernetic, and he's basically 100% robot.
I've only got so many fate, though, you know. I can take 2 more of these, most.
Remember, you can earn fate back.
You did go spelunking in the train tracks in the middle of a planetary invasion. Okay.
I thought maybe they would have abandoned the trains.
So that I think that's a kill, right? That is, you're dead.
Yeah.
So that is
143 damage.
143.
Yes.
It's fine. Walk it off.
As you turn down a particular. You know what? You've been a really good sport about this. Would you like to tell us how you get hit by the train, or do you want me to do it?
I'll let you do it.
Okay. So in the interests of gratifying Carl's imagination, then, we'll switch it from a cargo train to a passenger train, right? And what happens here, the main issue that you have is this is, unbeknownst to you, apparently they have extremely long trains on Galifas. It's excessively lengthy. And you're following a track. What you think is a train receding from you, but you're not really paying attention. You're kind of wondering, like, wait, are the other squads trying to follow me north? Am I really going in the right direction? Yeah, this is probably fine. This makes sense. I'll just walk it underground, and I don't need to talk about the planes. This is fine. It's only at, like, about that last moment that you process that the train isn't heading away from you, it's coming towards you. You can hear the other members of your squad having, like, rushed back and ducked around a corner, going, no, no, no! Like, trying to get you to come with them, but no. And it's too late for you to run. So you try the only thing you can think of. There's no space to the left, there's no space to the right. You can't run backwards, you definitely can't go forwards. So you attempt to jump and hit the ceiling. See if you can cling to it and have the train pass underneath. Unfortunately, you don't quite make it all the way by the time the thing hits you, and you go flying through the windscreen, and the driver, and the first carriage, and a number of metal poles, and civilians, and then the second carriage, and the third carriage, and the fourth carriage, and the train's momentum keeps going, and you keep going, and your armor is rent and torn, your limbs come flying off, you're surrounded by gore and bone and metal and twisted flesh and scrap and plasteel, everything burning and hurting and painful. I'm assuming you're burning a fate to survive this, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
I like to think that this entire time, in slow-mo, there's a smile that never gets quite wiped off.
You lose track at about the 10th carriage. All you know is you do come out the opposite end.
All I would say is that on behalf of the Legion, those do not count towards your kill count.
They definitely count.
They definitely count.
They definitely count.
They count.
As you crash into the ground, face staring out of a shattered visor, power armor annihilated, bleeding your last, your squad kind of peek their head around as the train rockets off past them, still carrying on at full momentum. Brother, Coatlmox, did you kill the train?
Just planned, brothers.
And with that, the remains of your tongue fall out of your mouth. They rush forward to attempt to give you medical treatment. Fortunately, with the general reluctance to visit the Apothecary, your squad mates are somewhat more adept at Medicae than they might otherwise be, and they're able to stabilize.
They got a problem with me.
However, unfortunately, I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people do. Sorry?
Do we have like a critical effect of this or anything?
Yes, it was Impact 10.
Okay.
You went straight to it, so what do we got? The tongue.
This is every
it doesn't actually technically blow anything up. You don't lose a limb or anything. I will say it destroys everything. Everything. What cybernetics did you have?
Both. Well, I don't know. It depends on my skills to work it out. I've got my eyes. I have auto-sanguineous blood. I have... Let's have a look.
Ever been hit by a train so hard all your blood left you?
You know what?
And your eyes.
Okay, from the damage you've sustained, downgrade all of your augmetics by 1 step.
You know,
for death!
You know, it's funny, right? Like, if you see someone's shoes go off when they're hit, that generally implies they've been hard enough they probably died. If your eyes fall out...
I mean, his tongue fell out. His eyes just, like... His eyes, technically speaking, are still working. They've only gone down a step.
Can these be repaired?
Not necessarily to the standard they were at if they were at best. Average up to good you can. Poor up to average you can. Best is difficult to get back to.
We'll just have to conquer a forge world for you.
And...
I'd rather die.
You don't have to burn a fate. You can just die.
Where are these low quality effects coming from? Have you added this, or is it part of the impact?
I've added this from the fact that you got hit by a train.
I prithee ye rescind. I will lose all limbs bar my head in place. I present to ye this offer.
You would. All right. You know what? I think that's a very fair trade, especially as I think you've got augmetic limbs.
Yeah, one of my arms is one.
Sure. Okay. If that's what you would prefer, all of your arms and legs are off. You've done your best to shield your eyes at all costs. Your jaw's dislocated, your tongue fell out, you lost a fair number of bones and supplementary organs. Hopefully nothing that can be replaced. Your limbs are a shattered, half-liquefied mess, more than 60% of them still in the train, as well as a good chunk of your body, and someone's spleen appears to be lodged in one of the hole that used to be one of your ears.
He's the world's angriest potato.
And to finish off the slightly post-session, I apologize I was a bit harsh with the tech thing, by the way, thank you for suggesting an alternative. To finish off the session, an emergency light goes up on Kuzco's HUD, flagging that it does look, actually, as it's coming from underground and like some ways away, that some accident has in fact befallen Coatlmox.
Would we all get that pop-up?
I think that's... yeah, I guess the entire command crew on the ground, everyone on the local HUD network down there, so all of you would get that, but like it's priority flagged for Kuzco because he's the apothecary, and it's someone going like, help, medic, we need a medic.
Malcador.
Is that just everyone on the ground?
Everyone on the ground, so not Maccy because he's off doing another thing, but it's the people on the ground in Zaragoza.
Okay, not me.
Maccy wouldn't be worried. This is just another Friday for him. This is another Friday for Coatlmox.
Okay. Brothers, place a chainsaw betwixt my teeth.
I think
that's the flesh throat.
I think that is a good spot.
You by the ankles.
A good spot to leave it for the week. Cool. Reminders for next session. Does anyone have anything they want noted down?
I don't know if Creed's going to remember that he has no limbs. So I want to make it very obvious that Creed remembers he has no limbs.
From eyeless to limbless. Or maybe just put a comma in there.
Didn't I say that you're going to become known as Coatlmox the eyeless, limbless?
You did say that, actually, yes.
I have a reminder or two.
Yeah? What do you got?
I would like to get a momentary semi. And at the same time, a second reminder, rather than a rescue mission.
Relate.
Not going anywhere near that. Anything else?
It's currently it.
Cool. Anyone else got anything else they want noted down?
AdMech are unlikely to help.
That's right, we can just send you back to the AdMech Creed as a peace offering.
There's nothing worth keeping in him. You can't keep giving people to the Mechanicum. It's just going to enrage the company. You're literally elected. You're handing the election to Coayah at this rate. Or, ironically, potentially fucking Coatlmox.
I think Coatlmox has probably got it wrapped up with the story of Coatlmox, brave Coatlmox, killed a train!
Not just that, because anyone can kill a train, right? He killed a train by nutting it with his forehead and passing through the entire thing like a giant bouncing ball of death. Thus giving him the idea for the cannonball technique. No. Any other reminders for next session?
Nothing for me.
Coayah's in danger of dying of an aneurysm.
Is only...
I suppose no one left behind at the first orbital laser.
Yeah. Sorry, I'd like to rephrase mine. Is Coayah refuses to die of an aneurysm through sheer spite?
This is what happens when you don't let me have my fish.
Can I have a reminder to...
Fish man, and just starting to like your character.
Sorry, what was your reminder there, Creed?
I wanted to order Coatlmox squads to continue.
I do actually kind of think that nowadays a Space Marine could probably, if they jumped right, probably would just go through the front of a tube chain, and probably a tube train, like a London tube train, and probably be like mostly fine.
It's such a fantasy setting that it's almost not worth looking.
I know, but I'm kind of interested in the physics now.
I mean, like the core,
don't bring physics to Space Marines. They don't make sense.
Like, remember 40K's relationship with reality, and also one of the core fantasies of the series. Someone articulated this the other day, and I actually really like it. It's the idea of a world where instead of the arms race between causing damage and preventing damage, where causing damage is just one, and there's no way to prevent the damage that's caused. 40K is in many ways a world where it's still going, and there are ways to prevent damage that you can't just immediately overwhelm with immense ability to cause it. And it makes a lot of the setting make a lot more sense, but also fundamentally means that things like getting hit by trains... yeah. Cool. Any other reminders? Nope.
Nazeem hasn't got a single kill.
Nazeem has no kills. It's true.
Nazeem is in serious danger of not ranking very high on the next election.
Oh, but I have a suspicion if the right secret voters tally up that Nick will never leave the captaincy.
Well, I mean, bearing in mind at the next one, you have to take into account the company, because it'll be them electing you as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Some of us elected to stay on ship and be selflessly sacrifice their chance of winning the election by not getting any kills. But no, that was apparently bad.
Oh, calm your salt. What was I going to say? But yeah, I don't know if any of you noticed, but like Benji clearly figured this out about 2 sessions ago at the start of the first campaign, campaign 2, and has been quietly maneuvering to try and get brownie points with the NPCs.
I was going to start doing that as well, actually. If we had any free time, I was going to be like, I want to buddy with Lower Legion.
What? You can't just do that. My thing. I'm already like. Well, it's
all very well and good. You guys go. Oh, sorry, no. You know what? Do we have any other reminders? Nope. Cool. Feedback. Anything you liked, anything you disliked, anything you'd like to see more of or less of next time. I'm so sorry. Sorry.
No, that was quite a fun session. I think it was maybe a little harsh what you did to Cread at the end there, when you just like took away one level of all of his. But it got amended.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree that was too harsh. Like. For a less heavily orged character, probably not. And I would definitely super agree. I think what he did there was 100% the correct way to handle that. Like, it offered a cool alternative that makes sense in context, and is like pointing out that, hey, this is kind of fair, but also this is not fun for him.
I only did it because I base my character around just having fancy cybernetics.
Yeah, so
and if possible, I'll wear them into 40k if I have enough fate left by the end.
I mean, if you do great deeds like solo capturing a planet, then you can get fate back, as Benji said. You can earn it back. I almost gave one to young Nicholas for killing Venus with one shot. It's honestly that I didn't decide against it. I just forgot in the swing of like you're condemning yourselves to death at the end of the last campaign. So you can get it back for doing momentous things, even though you also usually lose it for trying to do momentous things. Dear. But yes, no, that was super appreciated and a model case. Any other feedback?
Sorry, Benji.
I think everyone owes Benji an apology.
For the record, I completely forgot that you'd like designated landing zones for the drop pods, and I was just like, yeah, land in the city, right? So. I
want to apologize, Benji, for snapping you about the demolitions thing. Clearly, you've forgotten. I shouldn't have expected everyone.
I re-listened. The thing is, I re-listened to that first campaign, and in my brain, I was just thinking, of course, he's got demolitions. He's the one blowing up everything. It never snapped into my brain that you didn't have it, and it was just not a thing.
Oh, I did have it, but I had misread it on the character creation that demolitions is actually an advanced. I thought demolitions was just a lore thing, so I could just buy it.
Yeah, me too.
It turns out it's an advanced skill, so you actually.
It kind of feels like the Devastators should just get it. To be fair,
and it's not even a Devastator thing. It's a general space marine thing that you learn at rank 2 or rank 3 even.
What kind of marine can't blow shit up?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I assumed you had it, and I do apologise for assuming that you had it.
That's fine. It's my. It's fine. It's my bad for snap.
I don't apologise for shit.
I guess I apologise if I was a little bit snappy over the people asking about the plan over and over again. I should have kept my cool more.
So I genuinely do think I actually only heard that plan once, and that was when Benji was doing the long spiel about it. I might have been going out for a cup of tea and it was explained another time, because I don't remember hearing it more than once.
No, but it was more the fact that it's literally all written down. I just read it off the sheet, and the sheet is in Discord. It's what is it like?
Just scroll up like a few times.
Yeah, you scroll up a little bit. You're all tagged in it, so people kept asking me. It's like, oh, so what's this bit? It's like, it's in Discord. You're all tagged.
I mean, if it's any consolation, I think genuinely this has been a really beautifully planned and executed campaign so far. Like, I know obviously a lot of stuff has been cocked up, but also these are believable military cock-ups. The thing is slightly out of position, and now the whole thing's fucked, and we need to try and reorganize this on the ground. How can we improvise to make this plan work? This is actually, like, weirdly... I'm not too big into World War II, but for me, this is weirdly reminiscent of how a lot of those campaigns go, where you have a grand plan that's supposed to work, but then it rains a little bit too heavily, and now the entire thing's coming apart at the seams. Maybe if we steal local tractors, we can somehow... And it escalates from there. So I think that was kind of cool in many regards. I guess also, brownie points for young Nicholas up in command. I think the politicking between him and Coayah was quite good this week, and also like he was doing a good job of actually managing the command situation. Not really following the plan as laid out, but also he's in command and he doesn't have to follow the plan if he doesn't want to.
He's just adapting anyway because fucking Mechanicus.
Oh.
That I will say is true. But equally, you know what? There was one. I was 100%, 99% on board of. I will go up and stay on the planet, stay on the ship because I have command. Nothing untoward will happen. I have no ulterior motives other than ordering any and all Space Marines with me to space the Magoth because he fucked me off. I don't like it.
Oh, man, I wish you stayed up there.
You probably wouldn't have been able to easily space the Magos. You'd have to break into the Forge Shrine.
The
Planning
idea
on luring him out in some way and then spacing him.
There's the idea of like, maybe Nick just being like, hey, that anti-void ship las cannon you have, just like aim it a little bit at the left side of the obsidian heart. just graze it just a little bit.
They're actually like right in the guts of the ship. You need to blow up most of it.
I think it's a fair trade.
You know, seeing as I'm not the ship, it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yeah.
It's right next to it.
I was going to offer to try and friend them now, but I'm not in a great position considering that was going to be a lot of strong arming, and now I don't have anyone.
Yeah.
Get him in the command buggy. We're going to make a run on Marotha anyway.
Just put him in one of those little like hover cart from like what the child is in from The Mandalorian.
No spoilers. I haven't seen it yet.
I will say as well.
Spoiler, you would have seen it in all of them promotional material.
I haven't really seen promotional material.
I will say just this: I don't know where we're going to go from here with the plan.
I don't know. I thought you had like a fake refugee thing scheduled.
We do, and I'm going to try it, but it's going to be far harder to infiltrate a group of now fleeing POWs with Marines and our troops than it is to infiltrate a column of panicking civilians.
You know, instead of me, the Coatlmox squad might miraculously break through into Marotha and disable the void shield.
That's very true, but obviously
it's an option.
I do kind of live, perhaps. I do kind of live for the idea that like half the company's gone rogue, hijacked the train, and just driven under the void shields straight into Marotha.
Are the green lines general roads, or are they the train tracks?
The green lines are the general roads. I didn't have an underground train line situation planned at all, but then Cread started messing around in the metro because of a one-liner, and we just kind of went with it. That was what his perception role was going to be like if he could see somewhere, see a route going north that he could hijack, or find like a train or a conductor or someone who could take him north, and then in the process of like going, oh, okay, is this an avenue we're going to follow? Let's see. He gets hit by a train.
Oh. Hope stashed.
So cool. And I think that's most of our feedback done. Questions? Anything anyone was narratively unclear on in that session? Is everyone following the plot?
I've got a question about a talent. It's not narrative though, so
I'll probably wait till after.
Narratively, what the hell is our legion?
half
of us are the Ultramarines, and half of us are the goddamn World Eaters meets the Space Wolves.
Yeah,
with a small smattering of the fucking Iron Warriors.
That's correct, Benji.
Yes,
right.
So you have more or less summed up the situation.
Yeah. problem.
Excellent tip from that. And then as soon as we land on the ground, all hell breaks loose. That's why I propose the next time we do diplomacy, we only do it over Vox.
I mean, you know what the silver lining here is, Benji? I don't know if you recall the one line from earlier, but the Marines you have with you are the ones that you've handpicked who think like you do. So you've got your own little posse on side at the moment.
Really, at this point, if Benji's squad is the one that's actually following the plan, but he's like, you know, 40, he's like 35% of the entire squad. Does that mean his squad's the rogue one?
Sorry, I'm not following what you mean. 35%?
Basically, I haven't got that many Marines. I've only got 10 Marines with me. So, are we the rogue squad because everyone else is out of position? No, because we're still following the plan.
Right. Yeah, no, Kuzco and his squad are following the plan. Oh, well, Kuzco is following the plan and he's keeping his squad following it with him. It's Coatlmox who wasn't really following the plan. In fact, was actively not following the plan. And
no, Coatlmox followed the plan because his plan was just cause havoc in Zaragon.
No, his
causing the refugees to
his plan was land south and flush the refugees north, and he landed in the middle and flushed them every direction they could possibly go in. People were getting on boats, for fuck's sakes.
Yes, I remember.
So you've got Coatlmox.
I did forget that part of the plan.
And then
really an excuse.
And then you also have Maccy, who was initially not following the plan and is now still not following the plan, but he is following orders from Kuzco, from Nazeem in command. So he's following a different and more up-to-date but less big-picture plan, because Nazeem's current strategy is clear the way for orbital bombardment and start blowing shit out from low orbit.
Well, it's the blow up Fort Stannis from orbit.
Yeah, Fort Stannis.
We can't use the Titans now.
Yeah.
So.
Please don't blow me up.
The blowing up of Forts and Stannis is mostly to ensure an easier time of infiltration into the Marotha Metroplexic from a bunch of teams that we don't actually have ready to infiltrate the Marotha Metroplexic.
It's fine. I look forward to next week's dossier outlining a simple 5-step plan for how to bring this situation back, which will immediately go wrong in step 0.5. But
New plan. Fuck this planet.
Genuinely, yes, it's the planet's fault, not anyone. No, sorry. I am genuinely really enjoying the dossiers. I think they're really lovely. I especially like that you added pictures this time to make things easier to follow. And everyone's
they got followed even less than last time.
It really did.
Oh man. I just keep looking at the landing zones I was supposed to take and going, oh man.
I'm like almost low-key surprised that Coatlmox hasn't just marched south and started burning fucking fields.
Oh, my other plan was to just go to Zelona and then push on to Defiance Aeroplex, but when I found the metro, I was like, hell yeah!
How would you even get to Zelona? You'd need to go like...
Oh, March!
You'd need to go through fucking Army Group Delta, and I suppose what's Coayah going to do to stop you? It's not like you're going to have the fucking army arrest you.
It seems to me like there's two things Cread hates: people and using vehicles. So I think he would have been fine with the march.
Oh.
I don't know what tells me that.
So let's do some XP.
We really need to get like an echo mod for that.
Yeah, boy. Plot progress. Does anyone feel like you made any significant plot progress this session?
Yes.
Yes.
If so,
Yes.
what?
We got Hierantis and Rastic's Mark on side with clear outlined objectives as to what they want and what we're giving them.
On a 7 and a 6.
We started the invasion.
Yeah, I don't think you actually could even slightly have made the diplomacy go literally any better, for the record. Even if you'd got Rastic's Mark more on side, they don't really have the power to do much more than they're currently doing. So, yeah, peak success.
Also, we adjusted the plan for changes in the battle.
The plan has had some slight adjustments. Fair dues.
I like to think of it as evolving the situation.
Any other plot progress? Nope, cool, fair enough. Character development. Does anyone feel like you developed your characters this session? And if so, how?
I do want to like the general group, in that it seems no plans to buy first contact with the command squad.
That's not really character development, though, is it? That's just...
Coayah slips... Coayah continues to slip further and further towards the edge.
Coayah develops migraine.
So would you say Coayah likes edging?
Do you want to take some insanity points for that one, Benji?
I will take 5 insanity points.
I was going to say, because you got a 1 and we didn't really give you anything special, so here's what I will do for you. It is your choice. I will let you set your own amount of insanity points. You can take as many or as few as you like.
I will take 5, because normally you want insanity points to resist fear, but I'm a space marine, so I already resist fear quite well.
But also for roleplay. Don't forget Jovis's insanity points.
Yeah, I'll take the 5.
Okay. Anyone else? Character development.
I feel like you should add like 1 extra insanity point for the Firebird. We all saw the pain that caused you. I'm just saying.
What was it? I remember my own character. Kuzco. Like, generally, there's, like, the Zen philosopher, but going into battle this time, like, the whole rampage element, but at the same time kind of suppressing it to try and get the objective done, while still wanting to rampage.
That's fair enough. I like that as well. Unlike basically everyone else, it means you were balancing between 2 possible outcomes. Like, Coayah and Nazeem are doing all professionalism, and Coatlmox is doing all rage, and Maccy was basically doing all rage up until right at the very end there, whereas Kuzco the whole time was trying to be like, well, I would like a little bit of rage, but I would also like to, complete my objectives. But it's difficult with all this rage. Cool. Any other character development?
Lost my limbs.
Alright, can you explain how this is character development for you?
I'm dreaming of new old medics.
Cread one-ups his previous campaign and the size of the thing he got hit by.
Do you know what I've just realised?
Flash forward to fucking season 3 where he gets stepped on by a titan.
You know what I've just bloody realised? But I traded you all 4 of your limbs, right? Your arms and legs.
Yeah.
You've got a servo arm. You have a remaining limb.
Also, you can shoot. Also, remember, you can shoot stuff out of your eyes. I don't know if you...
Yeah. So, hold on.
Isn't your servo arm already? Isn't that a part of your basic Techmarine equipment?
Yeah, you got your basic Techmarine equipment at the start of this season.
I forgot about that.
I've got like on the team and stuff.
I'm still fighting.
Remember, Cread, as well. You have your servo arm. Did you or did you not have something installed in it, like an actual weapon?
I think I just have the basics now. I haven't done anything.
Can't you use that like hop along it as a leg, and you've got your baleful eyes, right?
You can use it as an arm to crawl. Okay, so we've chopped all 4 of his limbs off, and he's still got his supplementary limb and the ability to shoot lasers from his eyes.
And he can hold a chainsaw in his mouth.
Can you put in reminders Coatlmox has servo arm, please? But I have forgotten.
That's a very good reminder. Coatlmox still has his... I mean, so had I up until like right at that very bit, very end bit there.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Coatlmox confirms flesh is weak.
That's just weak. Look, at least this arm still works.
What have I still got after that? Throwing myself through one measly train. My laser eyes and my robo arm. This is the only thing I can trust.
What could a second train possibly take? Surely I'm train-proof.
Well, you've had your vaccination now, right? So
yeah.
That means he has 5G as well.
Ah, yes. 5G squad pods. Cool. Excellence of roleplay. Does anyone feel that anyone else roleplayed particularly well?
I think, tea time in the command center was a nice little touch.
I'm kind of in love with Nazeem's, human child-sized teacup.
It's just this tiny teacup and this giant fucking...
It's the sort of thing where I imagine, because I know it says it's from your elder sister, but I've got the image of, a grown-up older brother having, tea parties with the younger, baby sister sort of deal, it's you're in that...
Shall I tell you what makes it even funnier? I have a power fist.
You're not doing it with your power fist. You're doing it with your
I thought you had a force sword, not a power fist.
Oh no, I think you're right.
Yeah, actually you do it. Yeah,
Force,
you're gonna have a power
I
fist
was thinking of power fist.
You know what does make it funny? Actually, funnier. Do you remember what type of remembrancer you have?
Painter.
You have a painter. There is almost certainly a giant canvas somewhere depicting a monstrous hulking space marine with a tiny teacup in his hand.
Oh, I forgot to ask about the commission for
I wonder if
Brother Kuzco falling off a bench.
No!
Excellence of roleplay. Does
I
anyone
will end you.
have any other excellence of roleplay nominations?
Coatlmox's Adventures of the Train.
Yeah. Jesus.
I liked Benji's near rush with insanity. Just in general, that was
Silent
restrained.
Rage.
That's not very professional.
That's not very professional.
I like the sort of continued back and forth between Benji and Nick. It's sort of getting slightly more productive now as well. And let's just know this.
Here's I just a minor point. Benji, I don't know if you'd like to, but if you'd like, you can start requesting insanity points when the squad really, like a point at a time, when the squad really drives you up the wall. I
may start doing that.
We can see how you go.
Yes, it's a fucking Horus Heresy. He's like,
3 sessions. There's going to be 3 sessions from now. He's dead.
So,
it's 100.
Any other reminders? Any other excellence of role playing bits? Nope. Cool. Okay, let me just tally those up. In that case, I make that out to be 100 and... Oh wait, no, what am I talking about? 150 experience points for session number 9. Because we didn't really count last week's non-session that I'm going to have to weirdly edit into the start of this with a lot of, like, Monty Python cut music.
We get, like, 50 for last session.
Nah, I didn't really do anything, I'm afraid. So that's 20 points of plot progression. Hoyrantis and Rastic's marker on side, and the plans had some slight adjustments. 20 points of character development. That's Coayah slips further and further towards the edge. Kuzco tries to balance his professionalism and bloodlust, and Coatlmox confirms that flesh is weak. 20 points, excellence. 30 points, excellence of roleplay. That's Nazeem's human. Wait, what the fuck am I doing here? Why is this 150? What is my brain? It should be 145. So sorry.
45.
Yeah. 30 points of excellence of roleplay. That's Nazeem's human child proportion teacup. Coatlmox learns the metric system, and Coayah's fraying mental state, plus 75 standard. Which brings us on to everyone's favourite part of the session. It's the highlights. Does anyone have any highlights for that session? Let's do... He's been a good fucking sport. Creed, do you have any highlights for that session?
Oh! Yeah, I had a few notes down. Let's see. The line, roll charm to make them betray their entire planet.
Anything else?
I can't remember the full quote, but I had to chop it down a lot to quote, ... that's not very professional. Which was Ollie after Benji banged his head on the wall as well.
I think it was just a throwaway comment.
It was just me saying that. It was Benji doing his whole spiel about... Ewan doing his whole spiel about how he gets a crimson display across his face of abject rage.
I'm really here for everyone bullying Coayah when your lack of professionalism drives him to behave unprofessionally.
And another quote from Ollie, just, Havoc squad, let's cause some chaos.
It's the squad motto, mate.
Chaos?
I like to think, like how Alpha Legion scream for the Emperor, we shout for chaos, even when it's turned and we're still loyal.
Yeah, it's not what you think, we promise.
Oh dear. Any other highlights, Creed?
Well, I'm really so happy.
That was it for me.
Cool. Young Nicholas, do you have any highlights for that session?
It's train time.
I like trains.
I like trains, yeah. That's what
trains.
Any other highlights?
Silent Rage. or Benji 404.
Oh my god, yeah, Benji's fucking 404ing. That bloody getting a 1 to resist a headache. Oh my. I'm putting it down right now.
My highlight was that was going to be Benji was a 1 to resist murdering the squad.
Oh dear. Any other highlights here, Nicholas?
I'm a little teapot, short and stout.
Oh cool. Okay. Any other highlights?
When was that said?
It wasn't.
It's just a way of
Yeah, it's referring to big space marine, small teacup. I think that's it.
Cool. Carl, do you have any highlights for that session?
bullets are just big pushy things.
My gravity gun is literally a beam of pushy things.
So many things are just big pushy things. A fucking void ship is a big pushy thing.
I mean, wrong.
A Nova Cannon is the biggest and pushiest of all things.
None of what you're saying.
What is a black hole? A black hole is not a big pulley
thing. Yeah.
Any other highlights?
Because I'll say a few of the other ones have been covered. So I've mostly just got quotes. This other one is a Havoc squad without weapons and armor isn't.
That was a fucking good line. The delivery and timing was perfect as well.
Who was it who said that?
That's Cread.
Any other highlights, Carl?
I haven't got a good way of putting surprisingly successful diplomacy.
I think surprisingly successful diplomacy is pretty decent.
Yeah, I was surprised that went so well.
I was also surprised that went so well.
You didn't have
that was great.
A guy with a bolter, just there.
I really love that your player response to being given more or less a license to murder hobo your way through a campaign is to react against the very concept of murder hoboery and try to solve as much as you can with words as possible.
But we're very slowly evolving as a party of players.
It's only been
5 fucking years.
Only been for half a decade.
No, at the moment that we've got an actual
you're massively I would say we're all massively evolved. Our games nowadays don't even compare to the bullshit that we used to.
I mean, the thing is, it's clearly then what happened is that we've slowly been evolving, and Ewan didn't quite know how to cope with it in that session.
I mean, as I went through at the time, there were so many breakpoints, so many of your usual breakpoints, so many things that I set up that you by hook or by crook sidestepped or negotiated through or de-escalated or it is a rare session where you put Benji in a diplomatic negotiation and he doesn't take immense offense at some minor thing. I have been playing games with Benji for fucking years, and I have seen him. It is one of his most common traits, and he didn't do it even once, didn't even approach it. And that was just one. Sorry, I'm going to stop my furious negging on that session, I promise. But yeah, it really did take me by surprise from all of you. I said I'd stop and I lied. Any other highlights, Carl?
That's it from me, thanks.
Cool. Ollie Wally Ding Dong, you got any highlights from that session?
Yes, Ewany. Right, highlights. All of us slowly drifting northward on our Deathclaws. All of us blindly following each other, really. Supposedly was. I forgot.
I was following you. What do you mean you hit the wrong target? Oh.
What else was it? I kind of think that's it. Actually, everything else has kind of been mentioned.
That's fair. It is towards the end. Benji, do you have any highlights? Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, I did quite enjoy intimidating most of the force out of the supposedly supposedly defended, what's its face? Architect laser.
Corral.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they were just conscripts, weren't they, is the thing. Like, it's not a station that's usually going to be manned. How often do they have to deal with that type of thing? It'd be like people who never expect to ever see combat and people who will bust out there as quickly and quietly as possible so that they could have it in case they needed to. And then these evil supermen from beyond the stars land and say, hey, you remember all them images you've seen of us murdering your friends and family over in Zaragoth and just like fellow citizenry? This could be you. Now is your chance to run if you'd like to die tomorrow, not today.
Are we the bad guys?
Yeah.
No.
Maybe?
I don't know.
The Emperor cannot be bad.
Can you reveal? Anywho.
We have skulls on our hats.
There's some
other reminders. Reminders?
Yes,
No,
you haven't done me. You haven't done me.
I was going to ask Ollie for his last one. Ollie, did you have any other highlights?
good.
Nope, cool. In that case, Benji, do you have any highlights for that session?
The age of mankind has arrived, and it has arrived with big guns, in reference to us having Malcador super-heavies as our main battle tank. You know what the worst bit about that is? I just looked up the variants that are in use by the Adeptus Astartes at this point. You know what some of them have got on them?
It's hover at this point, isn't it?
Hmm?
What? Oh, Inferno cannons.
They've got Inferno cannons on them, because of course they do.
More flame birds! Can we call these like flame tortoises or something?
Fire tortoises of the land. And this is the amphibious one, the fire turtle. We drop this one from the sky. We call it the fire koala.
A fire
Look, we've got a sort of one-track mind with this sort of thing.
Did you just start that sentence, young Nicholas, expecting to pick the aerial version of a turtle and then midway through realise that it doesn't exist?
No, I was trying to refer to Terry.
Oh,
I see.
Do you have any other highlights, Benji?
Young Nicholas assumes the worst when I want some remaining command.
I was convinced that was a brilliant double play on your part, that you'd successfully fucking basic-ass reverse psychology your way into getting to lead the initial assault.
You were planning on assassinating the Magos as well, so
I killed one Magos, it's fine.
It's really not.
Just saying.
Sorry, I've kind of lost myself there. What was the highlight again?
Young Nicholas immediately assumes treachery.
I mean, it's a fair assumption.
It is. You are, like, low-key, long-term planning to oust him from his spot.
Only slightly.
Admittedly, peacefully. I don't know if it counts as treachery when it's an election, but... anything else?
I think that's everything from me.
Fair. In that case, I think we've covered most things. I've only got 2 extra, so...
I've got
what?
one.
Yeah, what's yours?
It might help.
In reference to what?
Me telling Cread, like, that's not going to help. It's like,
But what's...
Oh, that was when I was commanding everyone to slaughter refugees who didn't...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember what you mean now. Jesus Christ. Cool, so in that case, my 2 are going to be Coatlmox's B&E is discovered. The fact that you didn't realise that he had fucking pig feeds until you'd already broken it. And the other one for me is Kuzco tapping tunes on the inside of his Dreadclaw and pissing everyone off, including the Dreadclaw.
Good times.
One day his soul Dreadclaw went off course. No one ever saw him again.
No wonder they turned to chaos.
Does happen. The Dreadclaws are like you will note that the Dreadclaws have auto-targeting systems. They 100% would have known where they were supposed to land according to the plan, and then went with the version that Coatlmox was after instead, because fuck the plan, because they're Dreadclaws, and they're kind of like low-key malicious in a very dickish way. Not to mention the fact that they were really down with Havoc Squad for some reason, with their cries of "let's cause some chaos." Just really smooth ride for you. Don't really know why.
Can I, if possible, try and get like the same Dreadclaw every time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet. It's that thing off so much.
It's going to prematurely ejaculate you.
Yeah.
What the fuck is the phrasing there?
Eject, young Nicholas. Eject.
Eject is
Evacuate.
right.
Oh no, he knows exactly what he says.
Yeah, I did.
You're not technically wrong. You can use the words that way, but what the hell, man? Anywho,
It's Carl.
Yeah.
thank you all for a lovely session number 9. Any final words for the recording?
Sploosh.